Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of SpawnCast, another Saturday night. This is episode 51, as Evan just told me about 10 seconds ago. I keep up on that, so don't let that fool you. But I'm joined here by a couple people. In this case, Dreamcast guy is actually off tonight. He'll be back next week. But we've replaced him tonight with Irene from Ircha Gaming. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm fine. How are you
Yes,
guys?
it's late out there, right?
Yeah, it's actually, well, there was this time change today in Norway, so it's actually 3 now in the night.
See
Yes.
that, guys. It's 3 a.m. there, so
Yeah.
you have to check out her channel. Evan is going to drop her. There it is. Okay, good. And we'll update people going forward as well. So go check out our channel if you like it. Consider subscribing and hitting the like
Thank
button
you.
over there. But
Thank you.
then we're also joined by OJ from PlayerEssence. How are you doing, OJ?
I'm doing good. But I have to say, with having Irene here, I think it's a suitable upgrade in terms of looks over Dreamcast guy. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion on everything. So.
Oh, stop it.
Max is probably screaming at his phone right now in the middle of Target. Actually, I don't know what store it was in. Yeah. And then we're also joined, of course, by Sean. No chips included this time, I don't think. So
no, I ate like grilled cheese. I actually don't have many chips. I was gonna go to the grocery store today, but I don't know. I have insomnia nowadays, and like I'm up till like 4 in the morning just watching like random YouTube videos, and then I sleep till the afternoon. It's terrible.
Dude, like you totally got a job now because you're a YouTuber.
Yeah, I know. Like it's
part of the job now, huh?
It's crazy. Like I'll watch shit like GameSack. Like I'll watch like a 45-minute episode of GameSack, and I'm like, I've seen this before. I know there's stupid jokes that they're gonna say, but shit. I might have forgotten something. I gotta learn up.
That's great. I mean, that's what happens, right? When you're pretty much at home working all the time, you make your own schedule.
Yeah, I mean, it works. It works. It's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And then of course we have Evan back this week. Off last week. Had to work, but he's back now. So it's good to have Evan back because we have to talk about a few things that I know Evan was heavily involved in, which we're going to go over. Sean was too. And then I know OJ and Irene have watched quite a bit of it. We're going to talk about Sea of Thieves because there is some I guess trouble brewing over in the Microsoft world, and it's concerning. But we're going to go over all of that.
I didn't
notice. Yeah. But what have you guys been playing anything good this week? I guess go over that first.
Define good.
Yeah, I know. You played Castle Heart 2. You played it as well. My video is not up, but Sean's is. So if you want an idea of what game he's talking about, or we're all kind of talking about, go check out his video on Castle Heart.
I played Castle Heart, and it's a game I wanted to like. Like, it's my sort of game. Sort of retro inspired. A sort of retro inspired, 2D action platformer, has a little bit of Castlevania sort of feel to it, and like I just couldn't like it. Like I could barely tolerate it. Just not a well done game.
Kentucky Cruise has you on their radar there, Sean.
Thank you, Kentucky. Yeah, so I'm playing that. I played Sea of Thieves, which we'll talk about more. I started The Bunker, but I can't talk about it. It's heavily embargoed, actually. But
I have that. I haven't done anything with it yet. I guess you can't talk about it. But,
yeah, I mean, it's an FMV game, but it's like I was always amazed as a kid at FMV games, but I never got to play them because I didn't have like a Sega CD or anything. And then I remember when I was like 11 or 12, I ended up getting a Saturn, and I got shit like Double Switch, and I never could figure it out. And the video quality was always grainy, but I've always been intrigued by them. So like when Night Trap re-released and stuff, like that was super cool because the video is actually, good now. So I think it's something I might end up liking, but we'll just have to see. And then I got, the HD Retrovision component cables in today, which you can hook up to Genesis, Super Nintendo, PS1, bunch of different systems. I'm using the Saturn. If you use the Genesis cables with a Saturn adapter, you could play Saturn, and it looks freaking amazing. So I've just been playing around with that some, researching it for a video. But other than that, nothing too crazy.
I think I talked to him about getting those cables for the Super Nintendo, I think. So
yeah.
That'll be interesting to see. Nice little Super Nintendo over there with Star Ocean. I'd check out with those cables. Okay, so you actually played quite a bit, Sean. So and then of course played Sea of Thieves. That's a given. Most of the people, I guess, that you saw in the video obviously played Sea of Thieves. So, but OJ, what about you, man? What have you been playing? Any good?
The Castle of Heart. Yeah, playing a little bit of that. Been playing a little bit more of Voice on the Nintendo Switch on my other one that I have as well. That's the music game. It recently got button controls. It's spelled VOEZ. And it's a pretty cool game. It's a nice little music game. I like it. I play that with my daughter, and she really likes it too. Been playing Splatoon. Been playing Mario Kart. We had that for PE Arena today, so that was a lot of fun. Those games are crazy. So just more of the typical stuff, and then some of the stuff for review and other things. A little bit of Voice. So nothing crazy. I was going to play Ni no Kuni 2, but I got a late they were going to add me onto the list so I can get Ni no Kuni 2 in terms of that. So I'll play that next week. But looking forward to that game because it looks really fun. But I
haven't had a chance to play Ni no Kuni 2. I really want to. I just haven't had a chance yet. Because that's going to be a game that you dive into. You're going to be in that for a while.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be good though. I'm excited. I was looking at that. There was like a premium edition that I was looking at, but I don't think it comes with the season pass, which is weird. I looked at the box and I don't think it comes with it. So it's like $20 more, but I think it just comes with like a steel book and stuff like that. Dreamcast. Oh, yeah, Irene, they're calling you Dreamcast girl.
Yeah, I see it.
Dreamcast guy is he's out for tonight.
I had a sex change. Sorry, guys.
He's he's out night on town, I think, with his girlfriend. So Ravenflow, thanks for the show, guys. You got it. Any of the other questions or anything you guys have that go into super chat and everything, we'll answer those like we did before at 10:30. I think it keeps the show on track a little better, and then it gives us half an hour to kind of talk about any of the questions you guys have. So any of the super chatter stuff, we'll just we'll go to 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do that. Okay,
mention one quick thing. Dude, your live stream is not popping up on my subscription feeds. I guess that's a whole other discussion for another day, I guess, or whatever. But YouTube and their whole subscription thing.
Oh yeah,
that's popping up on my live feed thing. So I just wanted to point that out to you.
It's very weird how that's happening. I think they're going through at least the past week and a half. I think there are some serious things going on in the background for YouTube. Some of the people I've talked to recently. So if you're a creator and your views are down a little bit right now, or notifications aren't going through for people you actually watch, I think there's some serious stuff going on in the background that they're working on. So just because I started looking around. Yeah, I started looking around big time after I noticed it. And they're doing something right now that has to do with server load or something. So it's going to be interesting. But I think in the next week or so, it'll at least mostly straighten out. So
I noticed that sometimes I have to go into the subscription, like the link to the subscriptions, and then see who is online, like live, because it doesn't really show down there. I don't know why that is actually.
Yeah, they just talked about how there is an algorithm that shows people, I guess, some of their sub feed or some of their subscriptions, not all of them, which is very weird. I'm not really sure what the deal is there. But I think it's something that people have at least noticed in the past year or so, that it's actively deciding what subs you see. So I thought that was really weird. I don't really know why they do that. I guess just not to overload people, but it seems to not, again, trying to learn everything. And I just think they did something recently that messed it up a little bit. So we'll see. Like the last video I did, the last Newswave I did, had a great interaction, like great what's the word? What am I thinking of? Where there's likes and comments and everything. Engagement, yeah. Great engagement. Like engagement that normally goes to a video that does like 25 to 30,000 views, and it got like 18,000 views. So it was weird. It was like the normal amount of engagement was there, but the views were less. It was very weird. So I'm not really sure what that was. But of course, you see people on Twitter all the time saying that they don't see stuff unless they're on Twitter. So I guess make sure you follow everybody on Twitter. Anyone you watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because they post all the time there. Or at least they should be. If they're not, I don't know, but they should be. Irene, what have you been playing though? Anything good?
Well, to be honest, I've been starting to play again Skyrim for my 5th time, and this time on the Switch. So Skyrim is the kind of game that's always fun to replay and start over in, and no matter how many times I do it, I feel
it's
like
different. It's pretty much different every time, right?
I feel like it. It's like you can choose your own direction from the start.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's great. It's great. I mean, it's a game that's you pretty much never finish, I guess. Like it's just goes on forever.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I have that feeling. Besides, Skyrim reminds me a lot about like from Norway. I kind of live in Skyrim. Okay.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah, I really do.
Scenery and everything. Yeah.
Snow and mountains. So yeah, I feel at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. Skyrim's good though to play through. I actually started playing back through Zelda because my Switch bricked, so I was like, I gotta get back through Zelda on the Switch. But I've actually been able to power through Zelda in a couple days. So I'm actually
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, almost done that again.
Nice.
A couple days. And then of course played Castle of Heart, Sea of Thieves, and that's not. I guess I want to start Ni no Kuni too, but I'm gonna start that on like Monday or Tuesday, I guess. I haven't had a chance this week or weekend. What about you, Evan? Anything good?
I mean, Sea of Thieves with you guys, and I played a little bit of Ghost of a Tale just because I wanted to actually get into that game. Just check it out.
Ghost of a Tale. I don't know
what's that. It's one of those smaller Steam games. It's based on the Redwall series, the little mice comic book story thing going on. It's a really fun. You adventure around a giant base, try to solve puzzles. It starts to fall apart later on. It feels a little buggy, but the atmosphere in it's actually really incredible.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so just to recap, guys, we're live with OJ at PlayerEssence and Irene from Ircha Gaming. So make sure you check their channels out. And then of course Sean from RGT85 is here like usual. You already know. So, but let's just jump into the Sea of Thieves thing because it is a mess online right now. This whole past week, I guess, since it came out, people were expecting, I guess, a better game than what we got. Reviews have not been favorable for the game. What's that Metacritic, like a 70 or 71 right now?
It was in the 70s range.
I think it's like a 70 or 71. And honestly, Metacritic, people say Metacritic doesn't matter, but a lot of people's bonuses, as we've heard, like matter or depend on Metacritic ratings, which sounds crazy that like companies like EA and stuff, hinge people's bonuses at the end of a development on that stuff, but they do. And I don't know if it's because people find it boring or because there's just not as much to do. But what is everyone's opinion, I guess, on Sea of Thieves before we go forward? I should at least get that nailed down.
It's shallow. It's shallow as hell. It's just shallow. Like it's not a very engrossing game to me. I
want people to also keep in mind as we go through these opinions. This is one of Microsoft's pillars for their AAA games that are first party. But go ahead, Sean.
It's just a shallow game. Like I had fun playing with you guys, but I mean, at the same time, like I realize what this game is. It's just a giant fetch quest. Get your quest, go get the treasure box, bring the treasure box back, sell treasure box, rinse and repeat. And it just, they're talking about like, a 5-year, 10-year plan with that game. Bullshit. It's going to be like For Honor. Like the only reason, in my opinion, it has 1 million concurrent players is because of Game Pass, period. If that game was released on no Game Pass, you had to buy it at $60, people would be a lot more pissed off about it, in my opinion.
I have a bit of a theory about that. Do you think that they decided to do Game Pass with first-party games? This is the first-party game that they put on there. Do you think they kind of had that they thought about that a bit after seeing how Sea of Thieves was turning out and what was going to be day one, and decided to just add it in and say, yeah, all first-party games. We got to go with this.
Well, I mean, in the same breath, how many first-party games do they have? Like State of Decay 2 and Crackdown 3.
Yep.
Okay, like that's it. And you know what? The funny thing to me is if you look at 2 of the top 3 scores on Metacritic, Generation Xbox and Somos Xbox are even over on Xbox Enthusiast, we had a writer just like totally defend the game and say that all these scores were terrible, and he got eaten up in the comments. And like I was like, dude, the comments are right, man. It's not a great game. Like it's very mediocre. As someone who got it through Game Pass, like it's cool, whatever, but I have no intentions of like going back. It's with all these open world games nowadays, there's so much to do and so much to see. You're literally just sitting there going from place to place. You might get a PvP attack, which is fun, but there's just not enough stuff going on, I feel.
Yeah, you mentioned that about an Xbox branded site or magazine or something kind of reviewing it favorably. And the one thing I want to at least give credit to Nintendo Life for, they reviewed, I think, Kirby very fairly. I don't know if you looked at their review for that. I was honestly surprised they actually gave Kirby, I think, the correct score. So I was a little surprised. Sometimes, it's with everyone, right? Like the Sony-based magazines. Do you remember those back in the day where they were giving just games that like Knack? They were giving that like an 8.5 or a 9, and it's like,
well, yeah, I mean,
it happens.
I mean, that's how Nintendo Power was back in the day. Like,
I remember
even Dog, they got better at one point. I do remember that, but even dog ass games, they would just say like the most positive thing they could say about the game and like really say nothing negative. Yeah, Nintendo Life gave Kirby a 7. That's a 7 game to me. Yep. Sea of Thieves is a 5, a 6.
Yep. I get it. Yeah, I think Sea of Thieves is like a 5 or 6. I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
But I think Kirby. The question is it $60 good?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't think Kirby is worth $60. I definitely don't think Sea of Thieves is worth $60. I think some people might look at me like I'm crazy in the comments. I think Sea of Thieves is a free-to-play game that has microtransactions.
Yes, perfect.
Hold on. There's somebody in the chat.
Who's in the chat?
There's somebody in the chat that wants into my podcast.
Is it Stupid Wood?
Yeah. He's allowed in. You can bring him in. He actually had a good video today that I really liked. So
with Ant Dude cheating on me.
Ant Dude's actually really. He's actually somebody I watch all the time, and I never talk about him, and I should because his channel is killer. So yeah.
He's actually a very nice dude. Last year at Too Many Games, like he was talking to me. He's like, "Oh, I love your channel." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And then like he walked away. I was like, "Who was that guy?" I was like, "Oh, it's Ant Dude." And I was like, "Oh, really?" I had no idea what he looked like.
Yeah, you can bring Wood in.
All right, I sent him a link.
Listen to this blasphemy any longer.
Hi.
About Kirby?
Yo ho, and a bottle of frickin' rum. No, I love Sea of Thieves.
You like Sea of Thieves?
I love Sea of Thieves.
Interesting. This is good. I was hoping somebody would like Sea of Thieves.
Me too. Same.
Would you pay $60 for it, or do you love it because you got it on game? Bullshit.
$60 without the knowledge.
Would I have paid $60 at launch? No, because I didn't think it was worth it. But at this point, having put in almost 15 hours and I can't wait to play today, I would have got my money's worth for 60 because I played Kirby for 6. I paid 60 for that. And if I can justify that in my head, which I barely can, I can definitely justify 15 hours so far in Sea of Thieves.
So what about, there's only one enemy type in Sea of Thieves, right?
There is a lot that sucks, definitely. There's a lot that sucks about the game. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, it has enemy variation and there's like so much to do. Like, there is little to do in the world. But the fun that I've been having with the friends I've been playing with has been almost priceless. Like, I even got on my own the other day because my friends were asleep because they're in Australia. And I was just sailing around, going and meeting players. And I was just waving at them and yelling at them like, "Hey, I'm friendly. I'm not going to hurt you. Just want to say hi. How's it going?" Like,
wow, you ran into a completely different bunch of people than we ran into.
I'm just literally making fun with
first.
the game.
We always
we do.
Well, when I played with my friends, we were definitely ransacking. It was so good. There was one time we completely looted this guy's ship or this cruise ship, and they started chasing us. But we had barrels of explosives, like gunpowder, on the ship, and we were like pushing it overboard, and they were like running into it, and it was exploding their ship. Like there's actually quite a lot to do, and if you start doing the raids. And you get like 10,000 gold per raid, and then you start buying all the cosmetics and making yourself look better and upgrading your ship and going up in ranks. And there is like hideouts that you can earn, and you can like face the Kraken and stuff like that. Like
the Kraken. You mentioned the Kraken.
Right now, you definitely need to make your own fun in the game. Like, hands down, you need to make your own fun. If you aren't creative or you don't have the right group of friends, you're going to have a hard time because there is only like 3 separate quests you can do, then the raids, and then there's the random stuff you can find in the world. It does feel really repetitive, but it's the fun you have with your friends or the fun that you make for yourself. And I'm just really hoping they include things in the game in the future that so obviously should have been included in the get-go. Like, why is there no NPC pirates? Why is there no pirates in the world that just have like black sails, so you know they're not like actual players playing, and you can go and you can beat them, and if you beat them, you get extra loot, stuff like that. There's so much in the game they could have done.
They did talk about boats on the ocean. They said it was weird for them to program. For some reason, they couldn't figure it out. Yeah,
their water is so good that they can't.
I mean, that's another thing I really love about it. I actually rain, like the sound of rain and the ocean relaxes me. This is definitely a personal reason I love the game. But I've always I have like a Google like mini home, and when I'm sleeping and I can't sleep, I'll put on like sounds of the rain. And the sound design in Sea of Thieves is freaking amazing. Like it literally sounds like you are on an ocean, and with how gorgeous it looks and the way the light shines through the waves as they crash on the boat. I just put that game on when I'm like doing other things and just sit next to an ocean and listen to it.
So you sound like you're just the perfect consumer for this game.
Yeah, well, here's something else.
You make me want to play it.
Yeah, I know. Here's something else. I love pirates. I love pirate games. When I was a kid, I had this game on my PC called, it was like the Black Pearl. It was like the Pirates of the Caribbean themed, but it was modeled after another ship game. And it was like a top-down game where you buy pirate ships and you battle other ships and you upgrade your ship. And I always loved that concept. And we didn't get anything like that until Assassin's Creed 4. And I loved Assassin's Creed 4.
I did. I like that one as well.
So this game was almost built for me. It's empty and it could be a lot better, but the fun I'm having with it, because it was something I just really wanted so bad, has been priceless so far for me personally.
But do you think that this will be a better pirate game than that one that Ubisoft is making?
I don't know, because I can't tell the Skull and Bones, which I'm also really excited for. I can't tell what the online interactivity is going to be like on that, what the co-op and multiplayer is going to be like.
Is that just like a straight PvP game?
It seems like it, but in the sense of buying ships, upgrading ships, getting better, actually being able to buy things that make you better at the game, that concept is more interesting to me. So I have been more excited for that game. I'm just loving this one right now.
Okay. Did you fight the Kraken?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet either. Because it doesn't actually exist in the game.
Of course you can.
How many NPC ships have you taken down?
Well, there is no NPC ships, but how many
other players?
Sorry, I mean players.
The other players, so far we've taken down everyone we've come across, which has been nice. And I think
are there many of them?
That's been about 5. Actually, there isn't like a ton. It's not like you go out and you see someone everywhere you turn, but that's good because you are going out trying to find loot. So if everywhere you looked there was someone trying to take your loot and you were just playing the game for hours and not getting anywhere because you kept getting destroyed, it would be really frustrating. Yep. So you maybe see a player or a group of players every like half hour, 45 minutes. Yeah, but there's always a threat. Like when you see a player, it's either, yes, they're going to have a ton of stuff, let's go get it, or holy crap, we have so much stuff, get the heck out of here before they steal our shit.
Yeah, what happens if you die?
If you die, you keep spawning back onto your ship. There's like, you go to like the ship of the damned or whatever it's called, and you have to wait there for like maybe a minute. So you like your crew will be left on the ship defending. But if they kill you all, they can just start looting all of your stuff. You'll always go back on your boat until it's destroyed, and then you'll start at a different outpost. But there's still the chance that even if you keep spawning back on your boat, you can lose all your stuff.
Okay.
So
yeah. Yep. Did everybody see the underwater shot that somebody got of the Kraken?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, there is none. It's one of the weirdest things. Where you see the tentacles and they go down, they end right at the bottom. Like they didn't design a body for the Kraken. Yeah, and people are pointing it out. They're like, this game was in development for 4 years and they don't have like things like that. I don't really.
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, for me, I would have paid $60 at this point, knowing that I played this long. But I would never recommend anyone going out and paying $60 for $10 for Game Pass, or even if you haven't used Game Pass before, using a free trial like I did. So far, I've played for free. Yeah. I definitely think it's worth at least checking out, if nothing else, for how gorgeous it is and the game design, especially if you have an Xbox One X and a freaking 4K TV. Like, damn, it looks so good. I wouldn't recommend anyone else going out and paying $60 just because it's definitely a personal thing. I'm loving it so much.
Do you have an X and a 4K TV?
Yeah.
Man, see, I don't have a 4K
TV.
Dude, it looks absolutely gorgeous. The way the light shines through the waves, like I can't even describe it. I don't know how you program something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if the game is this empty because they spent the entire time in development on the water.
Yeah, the water looks really good. I gotta say it was funny because I remember when we were playing. Was it the beta I played? I remember I played it and I was like, "This water looks good," and everyone was just laughing, in the chat. And I was like, look at the water though. It's like they should just license that and like seriously just have that water just to have people pay for it, like other developers and stuff.
Do you remember that guy on the Wii U who used to?
Yeah. That's like I said it and immediately I was like, people are just gonna make fun of me for that.
I love that, man.
You were also talking about Kirby when I came in. I don't want to derail this. I'll touch on this real quick.
No,
but I played a game called A Way Out last night with the same friend I'm playing Pirates with. It came out yesterday. It's about 6 hours.
Is it Ant Dude? Is it Ant Dude, you cheater?
My friend from high school. Shut up. It's about 6 hours long. It only cost $30. And oh my god, it was the best co-op experience I've ever had in a video game, like hands down.
See, Max is out with his girlfriend. See, look at this, messing everything up. He actually reviewed that game. So he would have been perfect to talk to. I haven't played it yet.
Absolutely brilliant game from start to finish. It did some things in that video game I've never seen done before in a video game. The way you play with your friend, it's a forced co-op game, so you have to play with someone else. You can do it online or local, and you see both screens at all times. You always see what the other person is doing, but the way they set it up and the way the game moves, it's almost like a friggin' movie. And there's really great action scenes where like you'll play a little bit and then you'll run past your friend and the camera will shift to your character and you start playing as your character and then your friend will be watching you. There's so much like they deal with it in so many different ways. They were always finding a new way. Every part of the game was done a little bit differently than the last. And there were just some parts that I don't want to ruin that were like, just never seen it done in a video game before. And I was thinking about that respectively. It's like a small indie team made that and it was $30. It's like, that is how you price a 6-hour game, Nintendo. Like you shouldn't have to pay Nintendo tax on every single Nintendo game.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the indies because that is a perfect example of an indie game that is kind of innovating into the gaming world, because that's what happens. Indie games bring these really cool ideas that, to be honest, AAA developers take and then kind of run to the finish line with. That's something I think a couple AAA developers are going to take and use because essentially, while there's a cutscene going, you still interact, right?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah. I mean, that is like certain times that'll happen. Most of the game is you both playing. Like 9% of the time you are both playing a game and you have different things you need to do or you have the same goal you need to achieve. But there'll be times where you'll be watching a cutscene. Like you'll be stuck in a cutscene, but your friend will have free motion and he can actually watch that cutscene as if it was just part of the gameplay. It was really interesting.
We're joined here by Wood from Wood BeatEmUps.
Yeah, sorry for coming in and dominating. I'll shut up now.
No, but, you're fine. You're fine, man. You're fine. You want to stick around for the podcast?
Yeah, I'll stay for a bit. I'm editing, but I'll stay for a bit. If you hear me clicking and clacking away, just let me know.
That's fine, man. I'm clicking away all over the place anyway, so that's fine.
And I mean, I am interested in the game solely because of the guy who there was the Joseph guy from the Game Awards last year.
That was great. That was like one of the best parts, but still, it's like I was worried, honestly, that his game, while it was going to be seen by a lot of people, would have been like, "Oh, this guy made it," kind of thing, you know. Yeah. But it worked out for him, right? I mean, people knew about it, so yeah, we haven't seen sales, but
I mean, I think it'll do okay. A $30 game, in my opinion, always has a decent chance, and the fact that it's a big release or whatnot, it got some good promotion. I've seen ads for it online and stuff. I think it'll do all right.
Something I love about it is you only need one copy, and your friend, even if you're playing online, they can download it, kind of like on Mario Kart on the DS. They can just download it if you send them an invite, and they can both play. So you only need 1, 2.
Yeah, the developer was talking about that. I thought it was pretty cool.
What system did you play it on?
Xbox, sadly. Wait, you have an Xbox?
Yeah. Can we play?
I mean, I just finished it in one sitting, but if you give me a few days, yeah.
Yeah. No,
how long is that game?
It's 6 hours, but honestly, it tells such a rich, deep story in that 6 hours that by the time we were both done, and even in one playthrough, we were like, wow, the start of this game felt like a long time ago.
Okay.
Because there's so much dense story to go through.
Did you guys hear what the developer for that game said? The guy who went off on a tangent, I guess, when Jeff Keighley was trying to have like an interview with him. He talked about, I'm trying to think who he talked to. It might have been DualShock. It was at GDC. He said that EA, while they were funding it, EA is not taking any of the profit for that game.
Yeah, I did see that. It's all going
very unlike them.
Yeah, it's weird. But if you go to their page, they kind of actually outline that in the terms of service and stuff with indie developers. What they do is they just take their expense back, like however much it costs, and then they give you the profit. And more than likely, what they do is they're just doing that to test out new ideas, so that if it's good, they can then offer you a bunch of money for the next game for them to just have. But it is weird to see EA on a title that doesn't have microtransactions.
When you make the type of money that EA makes, though, you can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you take the type of the microtransaction money, the money they make from FIFA Ultimate Team, from idiots buying Madden fake Madden cards that aren't even real, not even like real cards. Or you're buying digital fake cards for Ultimate Team. I mean, you might as well go ahead and try stuff like that because you just got money flowing out of anywhere. And then whenever you feel like you're not making enough, just lay off a staff, just get rid of a whole studio, you know. So they have all sorts of ways. So I mean, that's the least that they can do from that company.
Chad, I saw you in the super chat. We're gonna read super chats at 10:30 just to keep things on track for topics here. But that's good though. That Faye and Way Out, no microtransactions, and they were funded by EA. So at least it's good to see EA, I guess, funding some indie games. That way. But you're right, OJ, some of the funding for some of that's a drop in the bucket for what they earn with Ultimate Team and that stuff. So much money comes in there, it's ridiculous.
Wasn't there a stat released fairly recently that actually showed how much EA made through microtransactions, and it was like a third of their total game?
It's obscene. It is that's why they don't care that gamers are mad about some of this stuff. They just don't care, because it's like, we made $800 million this past year from FIFA alone. Yeah, we're gonna put that in the next one.
I mean,
it's gonna happen.
I mean, there was some guy that spent $70,000 on a mobile game recently. I saw in the news. It's like a lot of indie games don't even make that much money on their game sales total, and this one dude is pumping that in a one mobile game.
Yep. There was that guy who wrote a letter to, I think it was EA, where he said he was addicted to gambling tendencies, and he spent over $10,000 or something, got in a debt and everything because of it might have been FIFA. It's
not old news either. A lot of my friends back in high school, and we're going back like 10 years now, so there was one in particular spent, at the time I thought it was insane, but $3,000 on a WoW clone. And that was him in high school. I was like, Jesus, man.
Gaming addiction is real. It is legit. People have gaming addiction. I just made a video about that topic, actually.
It's been like documented, right?
Is it gaming addiction or addictive personality? That's where you have to figure it out.
I mean, if
you think about it, people can become addicted to anything. You know, if they have an addictive personality, it doesn't have to be necessarily body based. It could be mind based. You know, that's why people, are addicted to collecting things or doing this and that. I think it's more of the individual just being addicted to something.
Well, it's definitely the individual, but if you have an addictive personality, you can get addicted to gaming.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't necessarily think. I think what I'm saying is it depends on the individual's personality. If they have an addictive personality, then yes, they could become addicted to gaming. But if you don't have an addictive personality, I don't think gaming will give you an addictive personality.
Dude, we ran into some big problems back in the day with WoW when that was first showing up. Man, people were like getting fired from jobs left and right.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. I think I remember working at GameStop at the time, and people were coming in for those like 60-day cards. It looked like they hadn't like eaten or anything in like days. Like they were just like stuck.
There was those horror stories of people dying.
Yeah.
Like I remember one I told in high school that some kid was found at home alone because the parents died at the computer playing WoW. I don't know how much legitimacy that story had, but people were legitimately dying at their computers playing that.
If it was on the internet, I believe it. Let me pull. So
there was like, man. Well, that's like those dudes in like Hong Kong or Korea or something that would play like a game for like 24 hours straight and then die at the computer or some shit.
Yeah. Let me talk to you guys a bit about Microsoft, because whether you like Sea of Thieves like Wood does, or you're on it like a lot of us, it definitely didn't get the reviews I think that people were wanting it to get, right? Because when's the next game that Microsoft is putting out? When is that? Is that State of Decay 2?
Yes.
When is that? That's soon, right? That's May.
May at the end of May.
Decent, actually.
Yeah, the first one was good, actually. A lot of people, I don't think, played it.
But what reviews did Sea of Thieves get real quick? I know you probably talked about it already, but I haven't seen them.
I pulled up OpenCritic after people were talking about it in the chat. On OpenCritic, I think it got a 65.
Yeah, I'd probably give it about 65, 70. Yeah.
But so it's actually it's right there with Kirby. I think Kirby has a 70 on Metacritic.
I think that's about right. More than Kirby.
That's about right. Well, I mean, Kirby. I would say Kirby probably has more content than Sea of Thieves, though.
Yeah.
It depends. Like once you're done with Kirby, you're done. Like, and it doesn't take that long. You can do it pretty quick.
But I mean, I guess we're also comparing a single player to a service based game. Although Kirby not having online multiplayer is like mind boggling.
Yeah, that is crazy, and I wouldn't call it a single player game because single player is boring as hell.
I actually played through it a single player, and it was. Yeah, I will say at least the computer isn't like completely brain dead. They'll at least help you.
It's not completely brain dead, but they got really frustrating when I was trying to capture an enemy, like suck it up and take its power, because they'd always try and kill it ASAP, and I'm like, no, that's not how the game works, guys.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what's going on here with Microsoft? There's some. I don't know if you guys have looked around YouTube. There are some people who are generally Xbox fans that have completely fallen out with the brand at this point. They are like, it almost feels like Microsoft is lost at this point, doesn't know what to do. Because I looked around, and a lot of times some of these companies come out. I talked about EA, for example. We know, because I think it was Visceral that talked about it, where they would get a bonus based on what critics would receive the game as. Specifically, they named Metacritic, which was weird for some reason, specifically naming Metacritic. But it's interesting that Microsoft has had only one series that's been at least critically acclaimed at any one time, and that was Forza. Nothing else that they have made first-party wise has gone above a 90. And
not even Gears at one point.
I don't. No, I'm talking about for the Xbox One. I'm sorry, in the Xbox One's lifespan.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, we try to talk about first parties in general for Microsoft, right? But there's not a ton of first-party games on. It's weird. We assume Crackdown's coming out. I'm gonna at least give the benefit of the doubt that it is coming out. But what else is there? State of Decay 2, right? Sea of Thieves isn't. I think Sea of Thieves will be the game that people go back and say, Sea of Thieves 1 year later kind of thing. I think that's what's going to happen. So I'll at least reserve judgment on it until then. But for now, it's not the game I think that Microsoft wanted as the big, amazing, critically acclaimed game.
They are doing kind of well though. I've been following the tweets they've been making because the servers keep going down, and it's because they have over 1 million players playing, and they didn't expect to get that many. And in all reality, that's not bad. Like 1 million players.
But would it be that many without Game Pass if it wasn't available on Game Pass?
Not sure, but that was something that Xbox decided to. No, the answer is no. But that's something Microsoft decided to do. It's not like. That's something negative to say. Like it was their choice to put it on Game Pass.
What's weird though is it seems like I think you're right though. I don't think they were expecting this many people to jump on, which is kind of odd because what's the one thing we hear when we hear about Microsoft talk about anything that's good? We always hear them talk about their servers.
Right.
Like that's all they talk about. Like they won't stop talking about it.
They kind of screwed up the servers completely because I was trying to play Gears of War that day. Sea of Thieves came out and the Gears of War servers were down, and I'm pretty sure they were trying to pull servers down from other places to keep Sea of Thieves up.
Yeah, it's weird because like they even shut off all achievements. I think at one point.
Yeah, I didn't get any achievements the first day I played Sea of Thieves. It was weird.
It was very odd, and I don't really know. Like, that's the one thing that I don't get it. Like, it's servers. That's the one thing they always talk about. I'm sure they talk about cloud computing, but, like, Microsoft should have been at least ready for it. But you might be right. Maybe they weren't expecting that many people jumping on with Sea of Thieves.
I think they might talk out of their ass when it comes to servers, because the same thing happened with, I think it was the Halo Master Chief Collection. That didn't work for the first, like, a week because the servers couldn't handle the people.
Dude, that game barely works now.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because I love Halo, and I desperately wanted that game to be good. But they are bringing out an update, and I've been following it very closely.
Finally.
I think it's going to happen. It's a big update. And honestly, I'm going to tell you guys this now, ahead of, I think, an announcement coming. I think it's going to PC soon.
Interesting.
Keep an eye on that.
To be honest, Sea of Thieves is the first game that really makes me interested in buying an Xbox One. I don't have it. I have a PlayStation 4 and a Switch, and like I have Xbox 360, but I didn't buy that console. But it's the only game that makes me interested. But I can play it on PC from what I gathered, so I think I will just do that.
Game Pass will actually work on your, like I said, it'll work on your PC if you have it. You can actually download it on your PC. Kentucky, thanks again. We'll answer any of the questions at 10:30. Go ahead.
I was going to say you proposed the question that we kind of breezed over. I think you were trying to say, why do you think Xbox isn't really stepping it up with their exclusives, their first party.
Yeah, and it's people are concerned because Microsoft. We just had this article come out from VentureBeat that talked about them going towards a service-based future, and now we see like they can't seem to put out a critically acclaimed game when Sony and Nintendo, two companies that have less money than them, seems to be able to do it whenever they want. I mean, how many did we have from Nintendo in its first year?
I don't know if anyone else has something to say, jump in before I ramble. But I think this goes back all the way to when the Xbox One first came out and they announced that everything was going to be digital and you didn't need the discs and all that stuff they were trying to do, push the digital market, because everyone back then, well, not everyone, but a lot of people, if you remember, I saw it on Reddit, I saw it everywhere. People were so pissed. They were taking their 360s in, trading them in and getting ready for the PlayStation 4 or buying PS3. And if there was such like a boycott Xbox thing at the time, that Xbox that flipped back on it and they changed literally everything. They made it region free. They made it so you need the disc. They got rid of everything that they said they were going to do, and they completely did a backflip. And they never really, I don't feel like they ever really recovered from that. PlayStation completely boomed from that point. It did so much better because everyone was, PlayStation's about the games. We're here for the games. We don't want some digital media console that to watch movies on. And it's just been like going that path the entire time. I don't think Xbox ever really caught up. They never really got the hardcore gamers back in. So I don't know if they are 100% invested in making games for it right now. And they've said it. They've said it a few times.
You know what's crazy? Real quick before you go on, I remember when this was this Evan? Was this 2016, 2017 when we were still at the store working and talking to customers? Even then, people still thought you always had to be connected online for your Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the everyday consumer just never got the message that we all did because their turnaround was so like, and you know, word of mouth spreads and it's off at that point, you know.
And I think they hinted a couple times at Microsoft that they weren't going to make another system. And I don't know if they're still staying with that or if they've flipped back on that too. But they just don't really seem too interested in the console market right now. They even started putting all their main games onto the PC. They really seem to just be trying to get away from it.
I don't think they quite know what they want to do, what direction they want to go in. Because I mean, when you talk about games as a service, I mean, 2 of their 3 games this year that we know of so far look to be that sort of thing. You know, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, Crackdown. They're all available on Game Pass, so they're not really concerned with game sales. Now, does that translate to maybe the thought process of, you know, because let's be honest here. If you're reviewing a game, what have we talked about while we've been talking about reviewing Sea of Thieves and Kirby? $60, the price point of the game. If you're reviewing a game and you think to yourself, well, you know, this game is $30 or this game is $10 on Game Pass, do you give it a little bit more of a pass than you do a $60 game? I mean, you sort of have to. So it's an interesting strategy that they're trying. I think it'll become more clear at E3 though, because it looks like they are trying to do something big at E3. You know, renting out the Microsoft, you know, building or whatever the hell it was. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Like they sort of need a direction. Their direction right now reminds me a lot of Nintendo's direction with the Wii U, like midway through the system. But Microsoft doesn't have the benefit of something like the 3DS that was at that time, you know, still very, very strong and kicking ass to fall back on. You know, they have their other divisions, but outside of, I'm talking about just within gaming. So it's interesting.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, here's the thing: we need Microsoft to stick around, right? I don't want them to leave the console division. They can't, because if they do, then Sony and Nintendo don't even compete anymore. Like Nintendo's doing their own thing and Sony's doing their thing, but Sony more or less lines up with what Microsoft's trying to do.
But we have a new console coming that's going
oh man, people are reading the title already. Yeah, I know. We'll get to it.
Would you have a video about this coming up? Don't you? I saw your tweet.
Oh, I already made one. Yeah.
Sean is like pulling his like hair out in the thumbnail. He's pulling his hair out, man. When do you get a haircut, dude? That's what everyone always asks.
Never. The more people ask me, the less amount of desire I have to do it, because I'm just that petty of a person.
Oh man, that's gonna be great. You're at the get it like all the way down your back and everything, and just have this crazy Medusa looking hair going on.
Yeah, and it'll Cut it into a mullet, shave off the sides.
Oh man, yeah. So, guys, there's almost 1,500 in here. We're joined again by RGT85, Sean, you just saw him, PlayerEssence, OJ, Irene from Ircha Gaming, and then Wood from BeatEmUps. 366 likes, so everything's going according to plan. Don't want to get over 600 because that'd be a problem. Do not want to end up on trending.
Hit like. I'm usually moderator asking everyone to hit like.
Yeah. People are asking if you'll shave your head, Sean. How do we make that happen?
200,000 subs in the next.
Isn't there like a clip of you shaving your head in the intro with Steve? You know, oh my god, it's Steve Richards. Then you're like buzzing your hair
because
he'd do it for a pack of smokes.
That was actually a funny thing. It was like there was a Nintendo Direct announcement. And that was back when I was just mainly doing stuff on Nintendo Enthusiast. And Jason was like, we should just do like a real big overreaction. And I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? I'm going to cut my hair within the next few days. Why don't I just like start shaving the side of my head off and like you just get in the shower and just have the water running on you while you're like clothed and crying in it. And it actually ended up being a very funny video. But yeah, I used to keep my hair short all the time. And then last June, I was like, I'm going to grow my hair for a year and see what it does. So we still got a little ways to go.
It's Steve Richards.
Yeah, it is.
I hate that intro. Freaking hate that intro.
So many people love it though.
The
so
Stevie
bad.
Richards one.
It's so bad. The worst thing is he's not good at audio mixing, so his mic would be like, "Hey, I'm Sean Long, and I'm
no.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards!
Watch some more recent videos. I think so.
Oh man, that is what your comments. There's always one of those in there, right? The, oh my god, it's Stevie Richards thing.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna put that on a shirt, by the way? I would buy that shirt.
That's not bad at all. Where's my graphics guy?
That's a good idea.
I get those comments in my live streams. Like I'm like, Sean Long is not here. But I get people telling me, oh my god, I'm like, I have nothing to do with that. And I got people saying it in my chat. So
oh man, that's great. That's good. So do you guys? Is this it for like? Does Microsoft need to have a good E3?
No.
I don't think.
I don't know why people get all bent out of shape about Microsoft. No. And Microsoft's look, and I understand what you guys are trying to say, but honestly, Microsoft, they've evolved into this whole service. It's about their brand. They're not in the same position as Nintendo and Sony. Those are dependent on their video games to do everything. Microsoft is in a completely different bracket at this point. That's why Phil Spencer be talking like the super nice guy and let's just do this and that. I mean, it's because of what they are as far as Microsoft as their whole company. I don't think they need to necessarily have a crazy E3. They're going to have all the third-party support. They still get every single third-party game that launches. I mean, Microsoft, the Xbox One service is still, people would say it's the best service, right? For the most part. I mean, if you're going to compare the three,
I'd say so.
Probably the best. So they still have that. They still have Xbox Live.
They do this weird thing. I don't know if people notice this when I mentioned this when I was downloading Sea of Thieves. They show your megabits rather than your megabytes per second. So it's like, wow, I'm downloading at 200 megabytes per second. I don't know if anyone notices that. It's very weird. It's a little tactic I think they use. Go on, OG. I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. It's actually true. I didn't think about it until right now. But I mean, I don't see them as having to do the same things as Nintendo. They don't have to have as many first-party games. They don't have to do that. And obviously, they're moving away from that. There's some things companies can do good and some things companies can't do good. And I think some people need to start understanding or realizing that Microsoft isn't going to be as good as Sony or Microsoft when it comes to first party games because they weren't a gaming developer first. I know Sony didn't start out that way, but Sony is definitely more of a game developer at this point because look at their other divisions. You know what I'm saying? Like Sony is like what, 70% revenue or most of their money comes from the gaming division now.
A lot of their money comes from gaming division, their insurance company in Japan, and strangely, very surprisingly, actually, they made money from their film industry or their film division this past
Spider-Man.
No, actually, not
the X-Men movies.
Not that one either. Guess which one it was that did it? Jumanji.
I was just about to say Jumanji. I was on the tip of my tongue. Maybe Jumanji.
I couldn't believe it myself. They were like, Jumanji made $800 million at the box office. I was like, what? What? Yeah, but apparently
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I was like, wow. But apparently it didn't cost as much as some of the other ones to make.
I forgot that movie even came out.
See? Me too. I was like, Jumanji, what? Also, they provide the sensors in every iPhone.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there's that too. So
I don't.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. I was just gonna say.
It's cool. Hangouts is going to happen.
I don't think anything at this point is going to change Xbox. I mean, they have what they have as far as followers and fans. I don't think there's something that you can bring out that's going to be like the console seller at this point. they don't have any franchises left. They can redo another Halo, they can redo another Gears, and I'll definitely buy it. But if you didn't buy Gears 4, if you didn't buy Halo 5, you're probably not going to buy the next one. It's not like they're going to announce the new Zelda.
There's one game that's in development right now that I think will actually get them at least a 90 on Metacritic, because it's by one of their developers that I think can actually do it. Yeah, yep, and it's because Playground Games, I believe, is making it.
Absolutely,
and they are a very good developer, actually.
What game is that?
So, we believe Fable is coming back, and it's probably going to be E3.
I would actually, yeah. I was going to say something rude, but I won't. I love Halo. I love Fable. Sorry, Fable is one of my favorite series.
Wait, you see something rude about Fable?
I was gonna say I'll cream myself, and I was like, I don't know how M-rated this podcast is. So.
I just got that little yellow symbol. Although, have you seen what Sean does on this dude? That's like G-rated compared to what he does on here sometimes.
I feel like Sean gets away with it though, just because of his look, like it's expected.
Yeah.
Like if you mentioned PUBG, WWE 2K18, or that rogue chip that almost killed him, it's over.
Rogue chip.
What brand was it again, Sean? That almost did you in?
It's the CVS white habanero quinona chip or whatever it's called. I need to go buy some more.
That chip is too complex. That's the reason why you choked on it, bro.
I know.
A lot more simple. Names. Just get like Pringles, my guy.
I will say, actually, I'm reading that comment by Hot Rod, and I agree. I love Fable, and I'm really excited for it, but it ain't saving the console. It's not like people are going to be like, a Fable, I got to go out and buy an Xbox One X.
It won't, no, but it's at least a game. That's the thing. It's something.
Yeah.
Like I honestly don't think God of War is going to sell PlayStations. I think that's for the people
than anything
more
Xbox.
So the Fable, yeah.
Because you look at a PlayStation, and it's like some people might say, "Oh, go new God of War." There is all these other games. Maybe I'll finally pick one up.
I mean, Halo was a system seller for a while. I don't know if it still is. They messed up on Halo 5. I
Even
like
hardcore Halo fans don't seem to like Halo right now. I mean, personally, the last one I liked was Reach, but
really? I didn't like Reach either. See, I'm like an old school Halo guy, man. I liked Halo 3. I think if I looked it up right now, people would throw up at how many hours I put in Halo 3. It was a lot.
I mean, I loved them all up until Reach, but I would say, like, I don't like the new ones because I never was a diehard fan. But I mean, even my friends that are diehard fans are like, yeah, I hope they fix it.
Will McConnell, thank you, and Link 2, thank you again. We'll read super chats at 10:30. But Halo 5 has no split screen, from what I remember.
How can you have a Halo without split screen?
There you go. I don't know. That's the one thing we would do, is go online with 4 people on one TV on a 32-inch CRT, because we didn't have a lot of money back in high school, and everybody got a little square, but we could still play online together.
I know kids are different these days, but I still wish I could take my Xbox to my friends' houses and set up a LAN.
I wish we did that. In high school all
throw
the
that
time.
Sucker in the book bag. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
we do that and get Chinese food afterwards. That was it.
McDonald's for us.
Denny's. We got a Denny's right by my house, man.
We don't have Denny's.
Like at 3 a.m. we'd go to the Denny's after we played Halo. Like,
dude, I love Denny's now, but we didn't have that in Australia. I always want to go to Denny's. It's so good.
Irene, did you play any Halo back in the day, Irene, or even now?
No, I didn't. But
wow, okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, if you get an Xbox One, pick up the Master Chief Collection.
Okay.
Get that because it has all the Halos on it.
It's just that there are not a lot of games for the Xbox that is a console seller for me. That makes me go over the edge to actually go and get it. You know.
Do you like any? Do you like shooters, or are you more into like?
Yeah,
I guess
love shooters.
Oh, see, okay. I mean, that's kind of like the Xbox is like super American console. It's like it's all shooters for the most part. And racing games.
Very popular here. I feel like in Norway it's very PlayStation.
You know, I was curious. I was curious. How is it? It is PlayStation there that's very popular?
Yeah, I feel like it is. I feel like PlayStation is more popular than Nintendo Switch. I don't personally know more than one person in my city, like among my friends, that has the Switch. It's me and a friend of mine. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, but a lot of people have the PlayStation. Yeah.
I was curious, is it in stock there consistently, like the Switch, or is it like always sold
we have
out,
everything in stock. I even saw the SNES Mini, very big stock on that everywhere. So nothing has sold out here, it feels like.
Oh, okay. Right.
But I live in a smaller city up north in northern Norway, in Harstad. So
okay.
We have everything. I feel like.
We had a hard time here with the Switch for a while, but I think they've got it under control. I don't see any.
Yeah, I heard that. I saw that on Twitter. Like,
I don't see any SNES minis anymore. So
I do.
Do you? I never see them. I wanted to get another one, but I haven't seen one in forever.
I was surprised. I see them all the time now in Target and Walmart near here. They always seem to have a couple.
We have them on our GameStop, and it is lower in price now, actually.
Our GameStop still bundles them with a bunch of junk.
Oh yeah, I read that.
If I didn't already have the European one, I'd get you to send me one.
Oh, you do have the European. See, I was looking at that one too.
Well, I got one of my Patreons sent me one from Australia, so I could have feel like it's the one I grew up with rather than just getting an American one. And I do have to agree with you, Irene. Like I've had an Xbox since launch, and I think until I got my X about 2 months ago, it had dust on it.
Yeah.
And I only just started playing it because the games look great in 4K. I picked up like Shadow of Mordor and Wolfenstein 2, like third-party games, but I wanted to play them in 4K. It's only now that I got back into Gears of War recently and have Sea of Thieves, and I'm finally playing the exclusives again. And I finally decided
I want to play Sea of Thieves. It looks so fun.
Quantum Break, I think it's called. I just started playing that. That's really good.
That's a good.
What kind of 4K TV you got, Wood?
I got a Samsung. I can give you the model number if you.
I was looking at a Samsung at Walmart the other day. I think it was like 500. It was like an MU 600 maybe.
I got the MU 800.
800,
it's a 65-inch. It wasn't exactly.
I don't have a lot of room for that down here on my desk. I was looking at like a 27-inch FreeSync 4K monitor. But those are like the same price as the big TVs.
I've always wanted a big TV, like my whole life. I've just bought whatever was cheap, and I finally decided to save up and get a nice one, and I'm definitely happy I did.
How many inches do you have?
Just
kidding.
I stumbled a bit there for a second. 65 is my TV.
You caught Wood off guard there.
65 inches is my TV.
I have 55.
Okay, that's bigger.
Yeah.
Yep. Next question.
God.
I think the biggest TV I have in my house is a 47, actually.
It depends on how big the living room is. I recently moved to a smaller living room, and I feel like 55 is too big, actually. So I want to like downscale. So
See,
yeah, it depends on how far you are from the TV.
Like I'm looking more into monitors and stuff, I guess.
It depends where it is. Like I had I think a 50 in my living room, and then I put the 65 in there. And the 50, I'm like, this is so small. I need a bigger TV. And then I put it in the bedroom, and suddenly in the small bedroom, it looks like a friggin' like movie theater in there with the 50-inch. It's just like relative to the room and how close I'm sat to it. All of a sudden.
OJ, your TV was in the background all the time. How big is that TV?
55.
Yeah, you said you got it at a good price, right?
Yeah, I got it on like the Black Friday like deals. I got it like that. But I've been playing a lot of my games on my monitor because I got a dual monitor setup now, and I have a 4K monitor. It's about 27-inch 4K monitor. Yeah,
man,
Samsung.
That's what I need to get. I need to get one of those.
Every game just looks amazing. Like Nintendo Switch games look amazing on it. It's like it's not too small. It's not too big. It's just like 27 inches for the monitors are just perfect size for just playing anything.
There was a 4K, like I said, I was looking at FreeSync because the Xbox just added FreeSync pretty recently. So I might look into that then, a FreeSync 4K.
Check out the FreeSync 4K monitors. They're Samsung. Those ones, and they're actually not expensive.
No, there was one I was looking at that I think was like 4 something, but it had like a 2 millisecond refresh rate, and I was like, this is it. I think it was like a 20-inch monitor, 28-inch. The 28-inch, yeah. That's the thing. That's the difference between a 28-inch monitor and then like $500 gets you like a 55-inch 4K TV at Walmart. It
makes everything look better though. Like as PlayerEssence just said, I was playing like Bayonetta when I got my TV, and like I was playing it. Like I started playing it on my old TV, and then I switched over to the new one. It just felt like I was playing like a new game. Like I just got a remaster of the game somehow overnight.
Yeah, I need to get a 4K one real bad. I was looking at 1440p even at one point, but the nice thing about that is you don't need a high refresh rate monitor for these consoles, so I don't need a 140 hertz. I can go 60.
But yeah, if you want a good TV, I can give you my model number. It's got HDR. I do a lot of research before I buy things, so I make sure.
What is it? It's what is it? Samsung.
It's a MU 8000, either 8000 or 8500. It depends. One of them's curved. I got the non-curved one.
Yeah, I don't want to curve. I don't get the curved thing much.
Yeah, I don't get the curved thing.
I see it here, 65-inch 4K. I see it here. Yeah, nice.
So stupid.
What did he say?
No, I didn't say anything.
Sounds being dumb.
Oh man.
Some people like the curve though. Wood. I mean, it depends on the individual.
This went off the rails pretty quick. We were talking about games at one point, weren't we?
I think
Yeah,
so.
let's go back to talking about games and move on.
Smash Bros. It's coming to E3. Did anyone expect it to be playable at E3?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Did you expect it to be playable in a tournament setting?
I thought so, because I'll be honest, I'm a little bit somewhat on the inside when it comes to the tournament scene, you know. And like I know a lot of the players, so a lot of them there was chatter among them that it was going to be playable at E3, because they are setting that up, you know, in terms of getting people. So I already had the idea planted. So I was like, you know, it might be a playable. They might do a tournament thing again. So then when it was announced, I was like, oh, I wasn't as shocked as everyone else was. I was like, oh, okay, cool, you know, because at that point, I mean, I almost already knew, because like, you know, they're getting people ready for that, you know, the commentators and stuff like that. So.
I was surprised, but it seems like it's lining up with what I think it's going to release. So I was pleasantly surprised, because I think it is coming out in September.
You son of a bitch.
I told you, right? I was like, oh yeah, September. Yeah, I think it's going to be playable at E3. And honestly, I mean, OJ, the state of the game would have to be pretty polished to run an entire tournament around it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, it would have to be like, well, it just depends on what your idea of polished is, right? Super Smash Brothers for Wii U, that game was really unbalanced and unpolished. Now, was it playable? Was it ready to go to play at E3 2014? Yes, but it's still, up to this day, still probably needs a little bit more work, but it's as best it's going to get. There's really just one character that's terrorizing, but it wasn't quite ready. There was a lot of things wrong with it, but they still had it to where you can go, because the simplicity of Smash Brothers, right? It's a platform fighter. So if they're using the same engine, which I think that they are, and they're basically just upgrading it, whatever the case is, if they're doing that, then they can definitely have it ready to go, probably have it better balanced than what it was beforehand, but nobody knew how good the characters were, so it didn't really play a part, you know? So some of that is artificially masked by the game just probably being new. So you're not going to get like certain things. So it's going to look good. It's going to look good. It's probably going to play good. But yeah, I would think, yeah, I'm not surprised that it's ready to go. I do feel that it's going to be ready to go like by the launch of the online, you know, in terms of that. So
that's what I was thinking. I was almost positive they would show off the online with Smash Bros next to it, kind of showing how Smash Bros works with the online, that being like the example game they'd use for it. So that's kind of why I thought, like, I was looking at the calendar and I was like, all right, if the online, let's say Smash Bros comes late, because if you remember, the online app for Splatoon launched before Splatoon, because I remember we downloaded it and Max and I were using it before Splatoon came out. If I was looking at the calendar, I was like, all right, September has a 14th for a Friday and a 28th. I was like, all right, if it comes out on the 14th for the online, then Smash would launch like either the following Friday on the 21st or the 28th. There's a chance it just launches on the same day.
Yeah, I mean,
I think so.
A possibility.
Yeah, so
I think so. It makes sense.
That's kind of where I am with that. I'm like, it's coming out. But here's the question for you guys: do you think we get a direct for Smash Bros before E3, so that, because otherwise, I mean, think about what we'd be seeing for the tournament. It'd be the first time we see Smash at all, and it kind of, that would, in your mind, would that kind of I guess overshadow the competition? Everyone's just like, oh, this is Smash Bros, we're gonna like look at how the game looks and everything rather than the competition going on, kind of like we saw ARMS before the tournament.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, Smash is going to be a big part of their E3. I think, you know, I think the inclusion of Smash means you're not getting Metroid.
No, you're right.
And so I think it's something that they're going to heavily promote. You know, they'll probably have 1 to 2 more, you know, releases that you didn't really know about that'll come out at the end of the towards the end of the year, because the first half of the year for the Switch from Nintendo, especially, you know, aside from Labo and stuff, is very, you know, remaster and, you know, Wii U stuff. I don't expect the second half of the year to be like that. But yeah, I think that's going to be a big focal point. So I think they want that focus to be on it.
Sure. I mean, we know a couple things. We know Fire Emblems this year. We know Smash.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yep. Yeah. Travis Strikes Again is in there. Yoshi is somewhere.
Yeah.
What happened in that game? They'll probably show up more at E3. But and then I guess some games. I'm still thinking. This sounds crazy. I still think Retro's game is coming out this year.
I'm just hoping for cloud saves now. I really need cloud saves for my Switch because there's something wrong with my Switch and I need to send it in. Actually, it doesn't take SD cards.
Oh,
so, yeah, it's interesting. It's really sucks. But
what's fortunate is that part's actually really easy to replace.
It is. Okay, so I'm like scared that all my save files will be gone if I send it in to like repair.
It will
so
be.
I would be a lot more safe knowing that my save files are saved on the cloud.
Yeah, like the SD card is its own board and it can actually be removed and you can put a new one in. It's actually not too bad.
I get the error code when I put in an SD card.
Yeah, it's one of the first things that comes out is that board. I think they're even cheap online. To be honest, yeah, it's not too bad. And there's no warranty stickers either in the way. So
nice.
there's actually no warranty stickers at all on the Switch. I noticed this when I was taking it apart.
Oh.
So they can't tell if you take it apart. Maybe they can. I don't think they can. But so Smash Bros. And then what else do you think we're going to see at E3 from Nintendo at that point? We're already talking about E3. Might as well go into a little further.
I have no idea. That is why it's so exciting.
Yeah.
E3 is always exciting.
Yeah. I mean, what's this Eclair City thing? Is that just Kirby?
Can I pose a question to you guys? Because I think that this is something that people just don't talk about. I mean, I think it kind of brought up a little bit, like with with the whole Luigi's Mansion port. But like next level games, like what have they been working on for forever? There's the next level games. We haven't heard of anything from them. Their last game was that thing, Metroid Prime Federation Force.
That was game of the year, right?
Yeah, and not even all their studio staff was working on, only just like a few different people. That game had a super small.
Are they doing the Luigi's Mansion port? Are they doing that?
Haven't said yet. I don't think that they are. And if they were, I think it'd probably.
Here's what they're doing. Okay, because I want them to do this. They're bringing back Mario Strikers, and it's not going to be terrible like the Wii version.
Yeah, Mario Strikers or Luigi's Mansion 3. I mean, I don't know what they could be working on. Plus, we also have the people who did Twilight Princess HD. Tantalus. Is it Tantalus? They apparently are working on some type of secret Switch game too. So that could be like a remaster of like a Wii game or a remaster of something even older brought to the Switch. So there's still that. There's still Monster
Skyward
games.
Sword.
Yeah, Skyward Sword. There we go. Or what about Monster Games? Like they're the ones who did they did the Xenoblade Chronicles 3D port. They did Excitebots. They did a number of things before in the past. So I mean, like Monster Games is just around, and they usually remaster stuff. So there's them as well. So there's quite a number of studios that that Nintendo can go to in terms of, or we don't know what they're working on in terms of just things like that. So,
and Panic Button's gonna have some crazy shit.
Yeah.
They've already talked about how they're flooded right now. You're right.
Yeah, they're gonna have some crazy stuff. Like, I think they're just sort of focused on Wolfenstein right now, and I think once that's shown at PAX East and all that, like then they can start to talk about other things. But I mean, because if they're working on Doom, Rocket League, and Wolfenstein all at the same time, now that Doom is probably done, it doesn't need any more updates. It's good. Rocket League will get consistent updates, but that's not a big project. And Wolfenstein's in a position to show it off and more than likely announce a release date. It's like, okay, well, what else you got? You're making money. Let's see what else you're going to come up with. So,
no, definitely.
Forever. I'm worried about that.
So what?
Wolfenstein's taking forever. I'm worried about that.
We're gonna see gameplay of it in about 2 weeks.
Every time a Switch game's taken forever, I know it's Panic Button, but so far every time a Switch game's taken forever and had a
untrue, because I swear we have this conversation every time, and you always bring up WWE, and what do I bring up? NBA 2K18. NBA 2K18 is one of the best ports.
That didn't take forever though.
Wasn't bullshit. It did take forever, and it wasn't shown.
Rhyme, WWE, and Steep is nowhere to be seen.
Okay,
I don't know what happened to Steep.
Steep can go to hell.
I didn't say I care about Steep. I'm saying it's not there for a reason, and Wolfenstein's taken just as long.
Here's the thing about Wolfenstein that at least gives it, I would say, at least an advantage over some of those games. It's running on obviously the id Tech engine, and it's actually, I think, an easier running game than Doom because it's a very. When I played through it, I noticed it was very closed off. Like there's a lot of closed corridors you go through and stuff, and it's not like Doom just is more open. So I hope it's not bad, but
the environments and textures of Doom were very similar, rinse and repeat. Wolfenstein takes you to a lot of different places, a lot of different environments.
I'm going to be more concerned about how they deal with it with the cartridge.
Yeah, that's
what do you mean?
Going to be very interesting to see.
Space.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you guys remember, Arc, one of the things they said was the actual hardware wasn't the problem; the cartridge was the problem. Figuring out how to get it on there.
Yeah, Arc Survival.
Yeah, like that. They apparently
pricing.
Yes, apparently it was no problem moving that over for the most part with some drawbacks. But the thing they kept saying was, I don't know how we're going to put this on a cartridge. So,
I played it on PC. It's a really good game. It's fun.
You like it? Okay.
I played it on PC way back, like back when it was released on Steam.
I know, it's like a mixed bag because people were mad at them for releasing DLC before the game actually left early access, and it's kind of all over the place at times. But people who enjoyed it really enjoyed it. But now people say you get on, and it's like you just get killed right away, and like there are people who pretty much rule over the servers and everything. So
I know.
Can't wait to load up that one. Well, I don't know. Maybe the Switch will be its own server, and then somebody can take over. I don't know. I'm still shocked that game runs on the Switch, to be honest, just because it has so many problems on every other system. So.
I hear it's okay now, though. They've ironed out a lot of stuff on the console versions of it.
If you watch like Digital Foundry, they just ran it, and they were like, the Xbox One version is like 25 frames per second. And I'm like, oh no. The X apparently runs it better, but it's still not like for how it looks. Like I look at it and I'm like sometimes I'm looking at it like visually. But it's super demanding on the CPU apparently. That's the weak point of all these systems, the CPU. Yeah. So we'll see. How big is Wolfenstein anyway? I installed it on my Xbox, and I never thought to look at how big Wolfenstein was, the new Colossus, because I'm curious what the file size is on that for the cartridge. Because if it's massive, then it is going to be difficult.
It's almost 50 gigs.
Yeah, I'm noticing that now. I'm looking on the PC currently, and if you remember Arc, the people were talking about there, they didn't want to put it on a 32 gigabyte cartridge specifically. They said a 16 was kind of their roof. So I think Wolfenstein is going to be another game, even though it's a single player one, where you have to connect, kind of like LA Noire, for example, where you have to connect the internet to download a part of it. Is what my theory is going to be for this one, unless they somehow get it on a 32 gig. Maybe it's man, that's tough.
I mean, are anyone else hoping for Animal Crossing? I know I am.
At this E3,
a lot of people want Animal Crossing. Every time I make a damn Switch video and like, what games do you want? Animal Crossing is really number one. I agree. Like I'm not a huge Animal Crossing fan. I'm not like putting it down. But yeah, I think that definitely is something people want.
See, I liked Animal Crossing on the GameCube, but I'm gonna be honest, I left it on the GameCube. That's where my Animal Crossing history started and then ended. I'm gonna be honest. I loved it on the GameCube though. Actually, I remember the GameCube is like when I played the most games in my life. As crazy as that sounds right now, because that's the time period. I'm sure a lot of you guys had this time period too. Where you didn't have a ton of responsibilities and maybe you're in school and you had your system and your friends and then you just played games all day, especially during the summertime. Yep. The GameCube was the system and the Xbox for Halo, but mostly the GameCube. That was the system.
GameCube, I would put tons of times, like that was high school for me. That was high school and some of college. I put like 200 hours into Skies of Arcadia. You know what I'm saying? Like I put like a crazy number of hours. I played Skies of Arcadia on the Dreamcast. I put like 200 hours into the Dreamcast one. You can afford the ability to put 200 hours into games that you've already played and stuff. Now it's like I play a game. I'm like, okay, I got so much responsibilities and stuff. But yeah, that was the biggest time that I put into games. In college too, Mass Effect. I put like hundreds of hours into Mass Effect games, all three of them. Across,
yeah, it's a stupid marriage and you know the kids around me taking up all my time.
Kid in the white. Always
oh man, it's much different now. But Wood, what was your first system of that generation? GameCube, Xbox, PS2.
GameCube. I actually didn't have an Xbox at all. Like I've never had one.
Wow.
I have one now that's got ROMs on it, but I've never actually put a disc into it and loaded it up. And then I got a PS2 eventually, like maybe halfway through of owning a GameCube, like 2 or 3 years later, and went back and played a lot of games that I missed out on.
What about you, Sean?
I was gonna say my friends had a PS2, so it was pretty much I had a PS2.
What about you, Sean?
I had a PS2, and then I got a GameCube.
Oh wow! See, I started with the game. What about Irene? What about you?
I got a GameCube way back when it was released from my parents.
Everybody had a GameCube first for the most part, except for Sean. And I guess Evan, actually, you had a PS2, right, Evan?
Yeah, PS2, a little later in its release, but I had a PS2.
Are we counting Dreamcast? Are we counting Dreamcast in that same generation too? Because I got a Dreamcast first.
That's always the tough, man. I want to say yes, because it technically used VGA out, essentially. So it actually had a better resolution and a clearer picture in some of these games, but it was, I mean, if we're going by bits, it was half the bit. Yeah, I guess I would. Yeah.
I got a Dreamcast first, and then I saved money from my epic gambling back in the early 2000s of flipping dollars. I really saved up my own money, and I went there and I bought the GameCube with like $120 worth of ones, and like some of them were still folded, like in the flipping mode. Like, so I just put a whole bag down of ones, and then I paid the rest with some coins.
The Dreamcast is actually a really funny story, because I got it for Christmas, and every Christmas I would ask for one game system, because at that time, you know, my parents would always buy something good for Christmas and then nothing else the rest of the year. So I asked for a Dreamcast. So I was like, oh, I thought, you know, a kid, you see this commercial, like, whoa, Sonic and everything. I get a Dreamcast, and this is when the Dreamcast was under fire sale. So my parents... Yeah, my parents made it look like I had the best Christmas in the world, and I swear they probably spent like $200 because, you know, there were Dreamcast and all these $5 games, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go get, you know, Shenmue. And I go to the store, and they're like, all the Dreamcast stuff is gone. No one got this stuff for Christmas. So, you know, that was a good Christmas. I got a system. I mean, it was fun. I played, you know, Sonic and Tomb Raider and MDK2, but I couldn't buy any games. So that was fun.
Console Christmases are always the best Christmases. Yeah,
it was fun being a Nintendo fanboy back then, because it was the last time you could really say, "I have the better system," and actually have some validation to it, or like the better looking system.
Man, I tried to fight that fight with the 64, and it was tough.
You got bodied when all.
I tried to fight that fight, man.
I gave up, man. When Final Fantasy VII came out, I was like, well, you know, it's time to give up.
Dude, the same thing happened to me. I was like, you're not gonna believe this game. This is Mario 64, and they were like, here's Final Fantasy VII. I was like, I guess I'm gonna ask for a PS1 now.
I gave up, man. When I saw Final Fantasy VII, I was like, you know what? I'm probably making some bad decisions in my life. I need to get this.
The GameCube was so clean, though.
Yeah,
Metroid Prime. The first time I saw Metroid Prime, it was like the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The first game I ever played came with the system. It was called Lost Kingdoms 2, and just the cutscenes and the gameplay. It was like, it was HD, man. It was insane. It was like a whole step up. It was better than anything that I'd seen on PlayStation 2 at that point.
I think the first game I got for the Cube was wrestling. It was X8.
Dude, I love Day of Reckoning 1 and 2.
I really like Day of Reckoning.
Day of Reckoning was so good.
Back then, I was really into the wrestling games, and what I would do is I would go on AOL, and there were forums where we would go on there, and we would actually talk about the new wrestling game coming out. We would also talk about the pay-per-views, and what you would do is you would make up names, because the WWE people, WWF at the time or whatever, would go around, and they would look for you discussing pay-per-views and where you could download the stuff. So we would actually make up code names for the different people. You can look this up now. People in forums now remember this. Like, we would call Brock Lesnar, we'd call him Bork Laser.
Bork Laser, yeah.
Yep. That's what we'd call him. That was his code name. So we'd be like, Bork Laser in the competition with, I can't remember what Kurt Angle's name was. That was when they were wrestling at WrestleMania, I think. And I remember we made up code names for everything. But we would actually go on AOL, and I would spend about 2 hours downloading a 30 megabyte file that had the entrance for the new Day of Reckoning character. Dude, that's what it was like back in the trenches on AOL.
LAN parties I talked about, even like 5 or 10 years after those Day of Reckoning games came out, we'd always bring the GameCube and play that, because it was so much better than the other wrestling games that were coming out, because it had actual somewhat physics. If you set up a table and you slam someone near that table, there's a good chance they'll go through it, which was something you couldn't do on the PS2 and the other games for a while, because they made it so you had to put them on the table and then grapple them on the table. Like, specific
Do you remember you could always just punch and mess up everybody's move constantly in that game? So if you like pick someone up and slam them in the middle of the ring, everyone just fell over.
Something that I found interesting is there was a comment from a guy called Joey. It says Metroid Prime should be as big as Halo franchise. That it could have been. I honestly think it could have been. It could have been Nintendo's Halo. It could have been huge if they just kept making it.
They needed the multiplayer. You know, they needed the multiplayer to get to Halo level.
They could have done it, and it would have been great.
They tried.
They could still do it.
Well, I mean, they kind of tried, like with Metroid Prime 2. They're like, okay, well, let's try multiplayer, but it was no online. You know, like it was just the split screen. I mean, at that time, people were doing LAN parties. People were having online. People were doing all that, and Nintendo did not progress. I mean, it could have been because Metroid Prime 1 actually sold really well.
They don't have any other shooters. Like Nintendo just doesn't like shooters, I guess.
Yeah, I mean they have Splatoon, but they don't have like a first person.
Yeah,
they have Splatoon now, but it's not first person. And it took what, like 15 years?
Yeah,
I want first person shooters.
Get you an Xbox.
They need to get a new GoldenEye back or something. I don't know, but Wood, someone else just said this in the chat. You obviously were doing wrestling games like me back on the GameCube. Do you remember WrestleMania 19?
On the GameCube, I didn't play that one.
On the Cube. All right. If you ever get a chance, you ever find it, pick it up and play through the story and tell me how ridiculous the story is.
Really?
The story is amazing in it.
Oh my god! Are you serious? The whole thing is to thwart Vince McMahon's WrestleMania plans by blowing up blowing up their construction site. And you actually take construction workers who have nothing to do with it and you murder them.
Oh, yeah, I did play that.
You throw them off like roofs and stuff, and they fall like hundreds of feet and die.
I think my friends did make me play that back in the day. Actually, it's so stupid.
Oh just to let people know, this is the one. So if people can't this is the one where Kurt Angle's on the cover. Yeah, he's like pointing up and in the Rock, and then Stone Cold. It's that one. Just to let everyone know, so you can kind of get a visual in your head of what it is. And it says like WrestleMania. Kurt Angle's in the center, the Rock's to the right, and then Stone Cold's to the left. So that's the one there. So
I finally bought 2K18 like 2 days ago, actually, for Xbox. Finally upgraded from my Switch version.
I can't.
Why? They got 2K17 on Games Pass. I just do that and download the latest wrestling.
Yeah, I'm one of them guys that's like, but it's 18. I gotta get the new one.
Okay, no, you're not.
Well, that's what I did. It was on sale for 30.
Okay, that's not bad.
Do you guys want to go over the Atari box? I'm sorry, the Atari VCS now.
I mean, we can
talk about the real wood.
To be honest, I don't know much about it. No,
I know nothing about it. Sean's made videos.
I haven't paid attention.
Yeah, I don't watch his videos.
There's nothing to know. There's nothing to know. That's the thing.
Okay, what is it? Like in short,
it's a mini PC that's $250 to $300.
They showed it off at GDC. People actually got some interesting interviews. I went through and looked at them today when I was doing my video, and I was like, let me see what people are saying. They went up to them, and some of the spokespeople there were saying different things back and forth. But yeah, it's a Linux-based machine that looks like a tiny little Atari essentially, and they were holding it up, and it's actually bigger than I thought it would be, to be honest. It does seem to use SD cards as they were flipping it around and looking. It does have an SD card slot, like micro SD cards. So it's going to be, I guess, the same situation as a Switch where you're supposed to buy, an SD card and pop it in. And according to them, it's going to be a Bristol Ridge AMD chipset, which is a low to mid-range laptop processor.
Yay.
Yeah. Based on the power supply that's being plugged in the back, it's not going to be a desktop one. It appears to be a laptop one.
Are you guys excited for it?
No.
That's the question.
No.
I'm gonna buy it, but
it's just them biting off more than they can chew. This idea came about with the NES Mini, and it's taken this long for them to put something together, and it's no one cares, and they know no one cares, and they're stalling.
But the thing of it is, I'm a member of some Atari groups, and there are people that believe in this thing. And I just want to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what are you believing in? Like, there's nothing to believe in with this. What is wrong with you?
Can we let the system just come out though? I mean, can we just like let it come out?
It is. I don't feel it ever will, because you remember it still has to go through crowdfunding.
Well, I mean, they talked about it. I don't know if they're going to crowdfund now, Sean. I was looking into this, and their wording is very specific to stay away from that word. So if they show up and they make people crowdsource for it, that's going to be interesting when they do that. Because now they're talking about pre-order rather than, I guess, crowd, because before they were saying we're going to launch on Indiegogo, it's going to be a crowdfunding thing, and now they're just talking about pre-orders. So now I'm wondering if they delayed it, not so much because of what they said, but because they actually tied up an investor for it. We're going to find out, because if they show up and they're like, oh, Indiegogo, here you go, I'm going to be like, ooh.
I mean, but technically a pre-order could be considered, you know, when you're doing a crowdfunding thing, you're pre-ordering the product that's supposed to come out. I don't know. It just stinks to me.
But they would have to hit a certain quota then, and because you talk about crowdfunding, that is like you have to hit a certain number if it's going to come out. So are they going to do that behind the scenes? Like, okay, well, we need to get this many pre-orders for this thing to actually be real. You know, that would be sneaky. That's going to really sink them pretty quickly if that's the case. You know.
You can. People are asking where you can find Atari people. You can go to Atari Age and read through forums there. Generally, you'll find people. They're really into the Atari stuff. And I remember they were talking about this thing a year and a half ago. I remember finding it and I was like, what are they talking about? And then people were doing focus groups for it and they couldn't talk about it. And I was like, what are they talking about? And then here comes the Atari box. Now it's the Atari VCS. By the way, terrible direction for Atari. Here's the thing. People seem to think that you need exclusive games to sell a system right away. And believe it or not, you actually don't necessarily need those. What you need is good marketing. And unfortunately, the marketing for this has been very poor. That's kind of a problem.
I would say poor is an understatement.
Yeah, like it's kind of a problem. Because not every system that has good exclusives sells. I mean, now if they sold like the Wii U, they'd be psyched. They'd be so happy.
But the thing of it is, who's gonna, unless it's sort of an open source like Steam thing. Like, can you envision any company going out of their way to developing something for this? Like it has to be something that is, you don't even have to port it, right?
Here, it's gonna be on Linux, which means it'll run Steam. Running Steam on this is one of the worst decisions ever, and they better not run Steam on it, because then they're just making Valve money. So they have to have their own shop, and then they have to, I assume, curate these things into their own store. If they put Steam on there, they might as well not build the thing, because they're not gonna make any money from it. And that's all I can assume, is that they're making their own store. The thing's closed off completely. It's not open source, and they're going to sell games through it. There's no cartridge slot or anything, unless that little slot that I keep seeing on the back is for little games that come on cards, which is, again, not a good idea.
That's not a good idea for them. No.
I don't know what they're doing with the thing. That's my only concern. It'll run Netflix. It'll run everything Linux runs. But if we get to the point where it's opened up, they're not going to make. They're going to make $0 on it, you know, because they're probably not going to make a ton of money based on the processor they're putting in, which is the processor they're going to put in there is about $100. So based on that and other parts and everything, I don't think they're going to make a ton of money from the system.
I want to ask a question just so we can kind of focus this just a little bit. Do we have do you know what type of graphics it's going to be? What is it going to be equivalent to? Do you know?
I have an idea of how.
Give us an idea just so I can. What's the idea that's going to be equivalent to?
720p low settings
on a PC, like a PC.
Yes,
okay.
A PC. Okay. It'll run a lot of games, just not well. Is the thing. It'll run Fortnite, for example. If they showed up and said this plays Fortnite, Fortnite's on it. Honestly, they might sell more systems than if it wasn't there. It'll play Minecraft, right? It'll play older 360 games. Think of that, like that kind of era. It'll play those games at low settings, 720p and stuff. It's also going to be very much dependent on the RAM that they put in as well. They need high-speed memory because it's an APU, which means it's going to use system memory. I was really hoping, and it would be too expensive, I know. I really wanted this to happen. There is that Intel AMD chip that is floating around out there. I really wanted them to drop that in, but that chip alone is $200. Like from a manufacturing level, which means this system would then be as expensive as an Xbox One X or a PS4 Pro, and then
you can't do
why?
That.
Yeah, why?
You can't do that. So it's not going to be okay, and just because a lot of people are bringing up Ouya, with this thing. So Ouya, does that do the same process as this? Or because I know Ouya, it's Android style, right? Like it's like Google Play, like you can go on there and download games and stuff. So
Ouya was weird because they actually sold that in stores. I remember this. Marketing for that was terrible too, though. No one really had an idea why they needed it, and it wasn't a brand that people recognized. At least you understand Atari. The problem is they're targeting the 40 to 50-year-old crowd. and that's not the crowd to target right now. The crowd to target, yeah, they should have reinvented the Atari. It's not even the same people behind it. It's Infro Grames. I always forget how to say their name. It's not even Atari behind this anymore. So when they showed the first Atari, I was like, okay, it's the orange one. It looks sleek, and then here comes the one. No offense to wood, but with wood on it. Why? What are they doing? Why? You know,
the thing of it is,
it looks like the old van that my mom had back in like the late '80s, early '90s. You know, it's like
that there.
Who is going to want to play mid to low laptop gaming PC settings on a device that's going to cost you $300?
I mean, I did just get a 4K TV, so.
See, I want to do that. No, I'm joking.
I mean,
I want to do that. Like, why can't I do it?
It's just crazy to me. It's
I would
absolutely.
get it, but I am saving up for an Ouya, so.
You could buy 3 Ouyas. Wasn't Ouya $100 when it came out?
Yeah, and it still didn't.
Ouyas for the price of an Atari box.
Yeah, it still didn't sell. It's like, wow. Okay.
If they made an Ouya that looked like a core crystal from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I would totally buy one. If they made one that just looked just like a core crystal,
I thought you said they did. For a second, I was like, damn, I'm slipping.
If they did, I would totally buy that if it looked like a core crystal.
But the Ouya ran into a lot of problems too, because they basically said, if you want to hack this thing, you can do it. They even showed instructions on how to open the thing up and do it. And that was a problem. Like, why would you want people to hack into your stuff and not pay you for it, essentially, like for your games on your market? And that happened.
They saw it as a reason to buy it.
Yeah, but that's so short-sighted on Ouya's part. You should be making money on your shop, not your system. Like that's why
I think it was kind of obvious that wasn't going to happen, though. They had kind of Hail Mary at that point.
I don't know, man. Maybe the time has passed where a company can enter the market space, or I'm sorry, a company can enter console space, unless you're just rich beyond belief.
Yeah,
unless it's Apple, or unless it's Amazon. People that just money who care, $100 million. Here you go.
It wouldn't matter who it is. It could be the most loved company in the world. Until they've set up a foundation and they've proved their games are going to be good, they're not going to make sales. It'll take like 5 to 10 years to build that trust.
Do you know who could make a console and people would buy it? Elon Musk. I would buy that console.
But like Atari, what are they trying to do? Are they trying to compete with like PlayStation?
It seemed that way at the start.
What's their idea?
Yeah. That's kind of the problem right now, Irene, is that people have to ask that. That basically means that their marketing is not good. Generally, marketing, you want to tell people what is your product, what does it do, and why do you want it. And
I saw it yesterday on Twitter, I think, and I was confused from the first second.
Like, however confused you are right now just hearing all of this, all of us have researched all of this, and we are just as confused as you.
Okay, it's good to know.
Yeah. So you saw it pop up on Twitter, right? That's what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So your initial impressions of it
was that it is like a retro thing from before I was born, kind of thing. Okay. And then I saw, no, it's new.
Yeah, when their CEO talked about it, he seemed to say younger kids love the Atari, so we're gonna make it seem like it's the Atari. And I was like, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
I don't think that's gonna work. Like they should just put Fortnite on it. Epic wants to put that thing on everything anyway. So.
I watched all of you guys' videos on it, and like, I just felt like it was like we just don't know. A lot of the frustration comes from just us not knowing more information about it. Maybe, right? Yeah, maybe that's like kind of where some people are. And then I watched another guy who decided to take all of you guys' videos and complain about all of you guys talking about this, which was interesting. And he cut all of you guys' video into one video. I'm not sure if you guys know about that, but anyway, there's a guy who did that.
Someone did that to us for a WWE. I saw that one. It was me, Sean, Spawn, and I think maybe Eric. They took all of our WWE videos and didn't add anything to it. He wasn't in the video, didn't have anything extra. It was just literally our videos crammed into one.
But this guy was complaining about us.
He was complaining about you. Well, it was funny. I don't want to just make it like drama-fied or anything, but he was complaining about you guys all talking about the same thing on the same day, and then he was complaining about you guys making the same points about the Atari VCS or whatever. Mainly talking about Rich talking the same points as Dreamcast guy. So, and he had audio from all of you guys' videos. So I was like, this is really interesting. I didn't know whether to tell you guys or not, but I was like, you know what, maybe I could just say it right now because I thought it was hilarious. I thought the video was hilarious myself. But I can link you guys the video later. I was gonna put it on Twitter. I was like, you know what, maybe
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Okay, you know who I'm talking about. Okay, so that's why I was like,
I do a lot of research on. I see a lot of things on YouTube.
Okay, it's interesting to me because I'm sure I wasn't in that video because I never talked about the Atari box. But it's interesting to me that people have issues with people that, like, all of us making similar content or sharing the same views. I mean, we all have, different opinions, sometimes the same opinion, but we are all friends and are in the same podcast right now, for example, because we share similar interests and talk about the same things. And while we do have moderately large-ish audiences, not in the grand scale of YouTube, there's not everyone that subscribes to me subscribes to the other people in this podcast. So if I want to make a video about something, there is a more than likely chance that the people watching it haven't seen these other videos. So it's funny to me when someone's like, I subscribe to all these people and they all made the same video. Let's trash that.
The person that OJ's talking about though doesn't like Rich. That's all I'm gonna say. He does not like Rich at Review Tech.
How could you not like Rich? I've never spoke to him, but I haven't heard a bad thing about him.
Some people. Like I said, it was just more on like everyone talking about it, but I just did it, and from what I've gathered from the fans, so like from the users, is people are just kind of upset that there's so much talking about the same. Okay, well this is this, but then not giving us information like in a timely fashion. Like this is, I guess, even worse than Nintendo in some ways, right? With the Switch, I mean, we got the thing in October, and then in January we learned everything about it. When they first announced the Switch, what it actually was, not all the rumors and stuff. They did that in October. Then January we got exactly what it was, price and details. And they failed miserably on that when it comes to this, right? Because it's been longer than that right now. At this point,
well, it's been longer.
We still know nothing really. We don't know much. So I can see why you guys made the videos that you guys made in terms of like the skepticism and talking about it. Like I can understand. I watched all you guys' videos. I thought they were great.
Yeah, I just threw it in Newswave, really. I just threw it in there.
We find
I watch all your Newswaves, so I know. I'm just saying, like, you talking about it,
Oh, yeah.
So we find the nearest playground to this guy. We say, look, 4 p.m. after school.
But to be honest, I enjoy that all of you guys make like a video about the same game so that I can see more perspectives on it. So yeah, I watch all of you guys' channels, like Eric and Sean and Wood, and yeah, often you guys make similar topics, but that is because you're into the same stuff, like you said. Exactly. I like watching a lot of like videos, like different perspectives like that. Yeah,
I like check out videos too.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think so.
Yeah, check out Ant Dude also. I've been exposed as an
I was about to say, I was going to bring that point up. Like, Ant Dude, myself, we released like both a Kirby video at the same time because we were both in each other's videos today. But we still had very different opinions. Like, he's a huge Kirby fan and will love it no matter what. But I was like, maybe not for 60, bro.
Yeah, he makes good stuff though. I've actually watched him for a while.
Dude, absolutely.
So. Make sure you guys check out Ant Dude.
We have like similar sub bases. I think he's like 10K ahead of me, and our video is going out at the same time. His already has like 100,000 views. I'm like, come on, 25.
He puts out. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't put out as many videos. But his stuff. He's a big Kirby fan, so
he's a super nice guy. I met him about a year ago for the first time, and instantly he just fell into our friend group and became close friends within like an hour. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he goes to Too Many Games, Sean?
Yeah, he was there last year.
I will meet him this year then. I
called him Ant-Man the whole first day I met him, though.
It's fine.
You called him Ant-Man? I'm going to call him Paul Rudd.
Because I was told Ant Dude, but like, when you hear someone's name the first time, it doesn't really register. And even though it was like an online name, I just heard Ant something, and my brain just went Ant-Man. I don't know why he stole Paul Rudd's name, but it's fine. I'll just keep calling him Ant-Man. And about halfway through the day, he's like, it's Ant Dude.
Ant Dude can come on the podcast whenever they want. PKG96. So there you go. Actually, we're talking to Liam Robertson actually to have on the podcast soon.
Are we?
We are.
I like him.
Yeah, he's a funny dude on Twitter, and he's an industry insider. So
he sounds like Rex. So I want him on the podcast.
Yeah. Let's see. Super chat questions. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we took us about 15 minutes left or so, so let's go through these. This was Gintoki Cruz, who is the hot person with the Zelda beanie. I believe that's Sean. Oh, here we go. Brain Glick asked if are you reviewing Galgun 2 and then Goku for Smash? I don't believe I am. Strange, a lot of forums ban talk of that game, which is interesting. I don't really know a lot about it, so I'm not going to comment too much on it.
Want me to I can put a quick comment why people are banning it.
I assume it's because it's subjective to women, if I'm correct there.
It's really
okay.
There's like the stuff that you do. I mean, especially from the first game, the second game seems to take it up even a little bit more. So there's some stuff in there with a little. I mean, tasteless would probably be the best word. Nothing. It's not graphic, It's just a little poor
what
taste.
What game was that?
Galgun 2.
No, I want to play it.
You should review that game and just make people super uncomfortable.
It looks fun to me.
No,
to be honest, I could be into that.
I played the first one when the second got announced. I played the first one on PS4, and it's kind of like silly fun. That's really
okay. I'm looking at it now, and yes, Irene, you should definitely review this game.
I've never played like the first one, but someone has asked me to.
I'm looking at it. I don't think the story is super important here. So
make a super clickbait title too, please. Like make a okay. Well, I would with that game. I would. Yeah.
You're gonna need about.
If I was in your position, I would.
You're gonna need about 12 red arrows.
Oh, I couldn't. I would die of cringe if I did that.
Okay.
Ravenflow, thanks for the show, guys. You're welcome. Do you think being convicted? Oh wow, this is getting political here with Greenwave. Do you think Count Dankula being convicted over a joke will affect British YouTubers who play games like COD WW2 and Wolfenstein?
No,
I don't think so. But I'd be very worried at this point.
Yeah, I'd be a little worried, but I don't think it will. But yeah, if I was, was this joke in poor taste? Yes, but like it's not good. It's not a good spot. Right now, what's going on with him? Not a good look.
Sparksor says you guys start doing gag reels. We kind of do that occasionally with some stuff. At least I have at times in videos, but not as many, I guess, now. With the Super Nintendo Classic, NES Classic, when I did that, I had my wife throw the thing at me, like the box at me a couple times, and one time I was winging me in the head with it. So I did that, but not much other than that. Like gag reels, I guess, and stuff, or outtakes. Okay, here we go. Daniel J says, I think Game Pass will devalue their AAA games, talking about Microsoft's games. Nintendo is actually on the complete opposite of that. They don't drop prices very often on their games, whereas we see it with other companies. They drop prices very quickly. But that's a good question or it's at least a good point here. If you have Game Pass and you download the game and you pay $10 a month to have this service, and all of a sudden all these first-party games on there, you don't really see it as a $60 game. In fact, Sean brought that point up for reviews. Are you a little easier on a game that didn't cost you $60?
Games in Norway cost $77 converted from Norwegian krones. New games, yeah.
Do you pay tax on that though?
Why? I just pay on GameStop. What do you mean?
Because here a game's at 60. Once you pay tax, it's like 67, I think. It is a little bit. You're still paying $10 more, but it isn't a flat 60. I wish it was a flat 60.
Not here. Come here, my boy.
What do you pay?
He's in Delaware.
No taxes.
So you pay just 60 for a game?
Yep.
No, I pay $59.99.
Yep.
The only thing taxed in Delaware is rental items. Can we kick both of them
out of this podcast?
Well, it gets even better than that. If we go to Best Buy, it's $48 straight up.
Yeah. Wait, you guys don't pay taxes at all?
Nope, no tax. I actually live in Maryland, but I'm actually 3 minutes from the Delaware line, so I just shop in Delaware.
How does stuff get funded in your area? Like what's
magic? You see some of our roadways, it doesn't.
Yeah, you see some of our roads.
There's a pothole right outside my front.
Bro, the second door. You step into California, you got people slapping tax bills on you. You're paying toll booths and everything.
No, businesses actually pay some extra money, believe it or not. I had the store that I was running. It was pay a little more to the government. But people are encouraged to shop with you because there's no tax.
I was gonna say, I used to live in Seattle for a year. I had friends that would drive down to Oregon to buy a car because they didn't have to pay tax in Oregon either.
Oh yeah, see, there's a mall around here, Christiana Mall, big mall. People drive from New York. People drive from like down south, as far down south, like top of in Virginia. It's crazy. People drive from all over to go there for their Christmas shopping because you don't pay tax. Yeah, you don't pay any tax. So
actually, I don't understand what you guys mean with buying tax.
Sales tax. So we have like if we buy something.
I don't think we have that in Norway.
You don't.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, in Maryland, in Maryland where I live, it's 6%. They take 6% and put it on top of whatever you buy.
But I totally cut you off, Irene. I'm gonna you keep talking what you were gonna say.
No, I was just gonna point out that I feel like what do you guys pay for a new game over there?
Well, apparently 60 in Delaware.
60, yeah.
$59.99, please.
$48.
I pay like 67.
Yeah, if you got
the Norwegian standard is when I converted it is 77. And actually my Pro Controller, this thing was 116 US dollar converted from Norwegian. This.
Oh my god.
It
was totally worth it. It's okay. It was totally worth it.
Oh man, that's crazy. What's that Xbox Elite controller over there cost?
Well, I don't know.
That's $150
so
here.
I don't know.
It was totally worth it. I got one.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you know what too.
Actually, because Australian, obviously, usually you hear about Australia complaining about paying more for video games for a similar reason that Irene is right now. But the way the dollar has equaled out, apparently 80 Australian dollars, which is the price for a new game there, it always has been, is only 62 US now. So it's actually equaled out for us or for Australia.
Not in Canada though.
Not in Canada.
Wow,
in Canada.
Third world country.
Let's check that. What's the new game in Canada? I think it's 80 as well, right?
Yeah, they're paying like $80, I think.
Oh, that's down to 62 actually.
No, but conversion wise, because like a US dollar, like $1 US is nothing.
Oh wait, I think I'm doing this wrong. I think I'm doing this backwards.
Yeah, I feel like games are a bit too expensive in Norway. I paid full price for my Skyrim, and it's like
is Game Pass just the same for you over there, Irene? Do they charge you different?
I am unfamiliar with Game Pass.
Okay, well it's what Game Pass is. It's $10 a month.
I know what it is. Isn't it just Xbox?
Yes, and it also works for PC as well.
Okay.
So. But you basically they just add games and take games away, and you can download.
I like the idea. I like the concept of that.
I was just curious if they have like some kind of region, like they changed the price for different parts of the world. I wasn't sure, so I'll have to look into that. That's something I'll have to see. Let me go up from there. Welcome to Woodstream. Yes, 3 thumbs up there from
Hey. That was just when I came in. I've been quiet.
No, it's fine. It's okay. Here's Mr. Walrus PNG. Will you guys be at too many games this year? I will be. Yes.
Okay. Are you coming to the States for it, Irene?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's at the end of June.
I would love to. I wouldn't mind at all.
I'll be there. Actually, it's kind of cool if you go to the website. Let me see if it's still up. It's kind of a big moment for me. If it was recently about a week ago, if I went to the website Too Many Games, it was my face and AVGN's were the faces as the guests.
They added
nice.
Yeah,
right.
It was really weird. I saw that. I was like, I don't belong there, but I'll take it.
You do. You do.
Yeah, you do, man.
Oh, they did add some, but I'm still above Pat, so screw it.
Do I need to have a panel there to have my face on the website?
You can hop on.
I don't know what it takes.
I don't know. You didn't even know about it until like someone told you, right?
Yeah,
What?
you showed me.
Okay, yeah, that he was on there.
No, I don't even tell. That's the thing. Last year, I remember I didn't even tell them until the last minute. They're like,
The voice of Bowser's gonna be there.
That's cool.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
Well, we have a convention coming up in Norway now, and we are going to get the Nintendo PlayStation, the actual the console that is only one of in the world.
I saw Conrad over at Commonwealth.
And I will be able to play it and see it. And the guy that owns it, he travels around with it and shows it around on conventions. and it will be quite.
That guy lives like an hour from us, Sean. You know that, right?
Who's that?
The guy who had the Nintendo PlayStation.
Yeah.
Really?
I think he lives in
He's
Philly.
coming to Norway. Yeah. If we're thinking about the same person, yeah.
He needs to come over to my house.
Wishbone says if Rare makes Conker's Bad Fur Day 2 Xbox One X exclusive, they would poop their pants and buy a console for that. So there you go.
What do you say?
Conker's Bad Fur Day 2. Honestly,
it sucks.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's what they should have done with Lucky's Tale. That should have been the next Conker's Bad Fur Day. They should have taken that character in that direction because Super Lucky's Tale, which is on Game Pass now, by the way, it's not a terrible game, needed some personality. It was super generic.
Well, everyone got hyped like nuts and bolts, like, oh, Banjo-Kazooie, nuts and bolts is going to be a bunch of, and then it's not very good. So, I mean, you never know. I mean, they can make another one to it. That doesn't mean it's going to be good.
Yeah. Well, he should be in Smash anyway, so. Banjo-Kazooie. Is Dan Miller asked, is Sea of Thieves the Xbox equivalent of No Man's Sky? In terms of maybe an update path? Possibly. Like, I think they'll continue to add to Sea of Thieves, and No Man's Sky has become better over updates, and they've already said it's a games as a service. So again, I think people are gonna be doing their Sea of Thieves 1 year later thing. So honestly, Wood, if you like it now, it's actually a good thing because I think it's gonna get a lot more content as they go along.
I mean, that's what happened to No Man's Sky.
Yeah. Yep. So I guess technically it kind of is. So
has there been announced anything new to Sea of Thieves?
3 months from now, it's kind of called the Captain's Patch. It has a lot of social aspect overhauls like clans, fleet system, stuff like that. So there's a lot of social stuff coming, but it's 3 months, I think.
Irene, if you get it, we can sail the seas with my friend I play with.
So
Evan, how many hours are you into that? Are you into that game, Evan?
I don't even know if I'm tracking it, but I'd imagine at this point probably about 30 to 40.
Yeah, I know you've been playing it a lot. Sea of Thieves.
Okay, you like it too?
Not as much as my buddy who just sent me pictures. Apparently an island bugged out for him for one of the bounty quests, and he collected over like 80 skulls from it.
Oh my gosh.
So you like it? I didn't hear your opinion.
No, yeah, it's we have the impression of it. I do think it feels like an early access game, but it's not that I don't like it because I like Dead Cells. I bought it way back, and then I just keep going back to it and check it out more and more. But in its current state, it is for me multiplayer PvP. That's all it is. It's just a matchmaking system for multiplayer PvP
This is the game that you really wanted, Evan, but I remember when we talked about it for, was it Arcade we played for a bit? Or no, it was Alad's. That was an MMO that had kind of shipbuilding stuff.
It had elements of it, yeah.
The one thing we were talking about for Sea of Thieves was, what if this had like full RPG elements that you actually level up, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. We were
how about that? That's also Captain's Patch is what they're claiming. But
I feel like I don't want to interrupt, but I feel like I'm good. I say that.
I'll interrupt, but hey, shut
really
up.
quick because I forget things if I don't say it. I feel like they went for that old school rare feel of like a Banjo game or like a Mario 64 game. It's just light fun. You can't buy things. You don't level up. There is none of that. It's just simple fun that you can have with your friends, but people don't like it, so they're kind of adding something to it.
Yeah,
I get that element, but a lot of us were hoping for more customization. Like I wanted a pirate that maybe feels a little more like a bruiser than anyone else, or maybe I want a pirate that can enjoy swimming down into wrecks a little longer, maybe have a little bit more breath to a negative degree to something else. But like if they could just add that'd be so much better.
Yeah, that actually confused me when I first started the game because I was like, okay, well, what do you know how you pick your character? I'm like, okay, well, what are the benefits of using this character? Is this woman good at something? Is this guy good at something? Is he the short guy better than the fat guy at something? And then I was just like, oh no, it doesn't fucking matter. And I was like, oh, okay.
and it 100% doesn't.
The fat guy, huh?
Yeah, it 100% doesn't matter at all because they did announce the hitboxes are exactly the same no matter what character you pick.
See? I mean, maybe like the fat dude could like lay on the water longer, and the short guy could like dodge a sword attack faster or something.
Maybe coming up in a patch.
I just want to know. I just want to know when they actually patch in the Kraken. I just want to know. I just want to see what they come up with for that.
Why are they finishing the? Are they adding the
John's annoyed that there's no character model for the Kraken.
Kraken, how is there no Kraken? Oh man!
I mean, you don't really want to be under the water when it's there. To be fair,
you can't.
The first thing I would do is jump in the water and be like, "What's the Kraken look like?"
Kill me! Make me go.
No, yeah, then it would immediately kill you. Falling into that does just do damage pretty quickly to you. That's the whole point, is you're not supposed to stay on your boat while it's grabbing you and
I mean, I guess they kind of want to keep it as like a mystery, right? Be like, oh, the Kraken, because it like the whole water gets all dark, right? And it's like, oh no, the Kraken. What's the other one we're talking about, Evan? The Leviathan? Was that the other one?
The Sea Drakes they're going to be adding eventually. That's what they talked about.
So that's cool. They should have the Loch Ness Monster.
The intent of the Kraken was you were never supposed to see it, so I'm guessing that picture is a glitched picture. Someone managed to get underwater.
They managed to get underwater and get it just right.
That's a little different. Like, not finishing something because you're never intended to see it anyway. That's pretty much how most games work.
Yeah. They should have put like a little Easter egg under there, like literally just an Easter egg attached to the tentacles. That would have been funny. That would have been funny.
There's actually one thing that I'm wondering. I don't think it is, but is it cross-platform? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, PC. I can play with anyone on Xbox.
I can?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I played we played our video with.
In the video we did, I was on the X, Sean was on the S, Max was on the OG Xbox, and then Evan was on the PC. We were all using different systems, actually. It's kind of cool.
So, Irene, cool. have you ever used Game Pass before?
No.
All right.
I am actually unfamiliar with it, get
that 14-day trial hooked up. Download Sea of Thieves, and we can play later tonight. I'm going to be playing after this podcast for like 8 hours.
Yeah, I have a gaming PC.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be playing too.
Dude, all right. Well, let's get a game together then.
Everyone's playing. I got to at least watch.
You can sail them for free for 14 days right now.
I'm going to sail the seas.
Let's get through some of these super chats, then we can call it a night.
We got one question on Discord too.
Okay, cool. We can get through them. Gentoki Cruz, Microsoft may become like Sega, the same way Bill Gates only took software from Microsoft, since that's where the money was. History will repeat itself. It's possible. I mean, honestly, Microsoft, when they went to the Xbox, Bill Gates admitted it was kind of a hobby, something he wanted to do, get into gaming stuff, and kind of snowballed from there. So the Xbox isn't super important to a lot of the higher ups at Microsoft, although it was very odd that they took Phil Spencer and put him on like their board. But that might have just been a move for appearances. We'll see.
Someone in the comment section just said, "Why is that dude eating bread?" And then I look up and Sean's there munching away.
It's quieter than chips.
It is. Sean's upgrading, man.
You use the microphone, if you want to crunch down on some Doritos.
This is what you're not on here, every week or anything. But he if there's a podcast he doesn't eat, it's amazing. Like it's like that's the big deal.
The thing of it is, like I won't eat because of my new sleep cycle. Like I'll go throughout the whole day without eating. And at like 9 o'clock, I'm like, oh, I'm starving. I need to start eating.
Is that just a basic slice of bread? You're not even going with something like special at all. It's just a piece of bread.
He's 100% soft.
He's like dipping bread in water.
Pepperidge Farm.
I think Sean is adapting to his YouTuber life very well. Like this is the smoothest transition I've ever seen. He's just it just went from completely being normal to just being a YouTuber like that.
When he first moved out, he was messaging me like, "Dude, I made a salad. Are you proud of me?" And now he's like munching bread already.
I still got salad. I'm gonna have a salad at like
the same salad. You're just like holding on to it for later use.
No, man, I got the bag salad. The what is it?
That's not making a salad. That's buying a salad.
No, I like
dumping a bag into a
bowl. You put it on a plate. Good job, buddy.
And then I put a little dressing on it, a little Bacos.
I mean, because the other day you were complaining about losing sleep, even though you work from home. So I mean, so it seems like there's been a nice transition.
I like to at least be awake a little bit during the day, and you can do
videos whatever you want. You work whatever you want. You talk about losing an hour of sleep.
I swear we were at Friendlies the other day, and people were like, "Why are they here at work hours?"
Yeah, my sleep schedule's so screwed. I'm up until like 12, like the afternoon of the next day is when I usually go to bed.
Yeah, he messages me, what are you doing? It's like 6 a.m. I'm like, I'm trying to sleep.
I woke up at 7 p.m.
now.
Oh gosh.
Let me 5 in.
Let me get through these, Irene, so you can go to sleep. Ashley and Lancelot says the Tournament of Power just finished Dragon Ball. I'm gonna watch that after this. I know I need to watch that. Don't tell me that Frieza won. I already know, probably did. Chad Surrent says Microsoft wants gaming on Windows, no more consoles, hence move everything on the cloud. I think they want service-based games because the most expensive part about selling games is building the console. Although I think they'll always have some kind of system, just maybe not the most impressive one if they do use the cloud like they talked about. Link to says love you, Ircha. Very cool. There you go.
Link to, I know
Link
him.
to. Okay. Will McConnell, Microsoft should have a few projects with Nintendo to create new games together. They have Banjo, Perfect Dark, Blast Corps, and Conquer. That'd be smart to do. And bring Xbox Live Pass to Switch if they could. I think they want to put that on as many systems as they can, or I mean, computer, who knows what else. But we've already talked about how Phil Spencer put the word out for Banjo and Smash. So at this point, Microsoft seems really happy with working with Nintendo. I mean, we have to sign into Xbox Live to play Minecraft soon, you know? So I don't know if you want to say anything about that relationship possibly being there, OJ, but
it's not happening.
No Banjo.
It's not happening. Microsoft's not going to be making stuff. Nintendo's just not. It's just not going to happen. Microsoft's going to do them. Nintendo's going to do them. You know.
This is Ataki Teacher says, "Hey guys, thoughts on Vivendi selling their Ubisoft stock off and apparently ending the hostile takeover? I think they got pushed around by a bigger company in Tencent, and I hope Ubisoft is at least careful with Tencent because
Tencent is horrifying.
They will swallow a company up pretty quick if they have the opportunity. I know they're not technically allowed to buy more Ubisoft stock now, but I think they wanted to find a way in, and they've been probably eyeing up Ubisoft for a little while now, and they just had to figure out if they could just get rid of Vivendi by showing up. And essentially that's what happened. Tencent shows up and Vivendi goes away. But it's good for Ubisoft now. They just need to be ready for when Tencent tries to take over. So Tencent is much bigger than even Steam. Steam is tiny compared to Tencent. So
never heard of Tencent.
Yeah.
That's the scary part. They're like shadow company.
That's the scary part. They are massive. Like, go look them up when you get a chance. They dwarf Steam completely, and a lot of us look at Steam and like, wow, that's the biggest, digital distribution and publishing and everything.
I use Steam all the time. Yeah.
Tencent is like 4 times the size of Steam, I think, at this point. It's crazy. Should Nintendo fund Sunset Overdrive 2? As much as I would like somebody to, I don't think that franchise is worth much anymore. I don't even think the first one got to 1 million copies sold. On a system that has a 35 to 40 million install base.
Nintendo should fund Golden Sun. Fund all the franchises that they're not funding.
Oh, I miss Golden Sun so much. Golden Sun on the
How about you fund F-Zero? How about you fund the franchises that they have? Fund your own franchises.
Chad Sorrent says Atari VCS equals Jaguar 2.0. Do the math. That was actually good. That was a good advert. I actually remember that advert very well, actually, with the old lady with the chalkboard. I think that was in, what magazine was that in? I don't remember what magazine that was in. It wasn't in a Nintendo Power, obviously. It was in something else. Sean, you don't remember what magazine that was in, do you?
Which one?
The Jaguar advert where the old lady was writing on chalkboard. Was that just in like?
Yeah, it was in like EGM and Game.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was probably in EGM. Yeah. This is from Robot Chicken MLP. As somebody who got sleepy during the Sea of Thieves E3 demo, I don't get where other people got their high expectations. I knew it would turn out this way. It's the one thing I see is people say it's boring. I think it's just a taste of gamer, really. Like if you're a run and gun gamer, yeah, it might be boring. But if you're somebody who enjoys kind of the visual appeal, it almost asks you to use your imagination, kind of, doesn't it?
Yeah,
kind of, yeah.
Two elements, yeah, but it's part of the fun that me and my friends have on it are PvPing at high caliber versus other people who have no idea what to do on their ships. Like handbrake turning properly and all that stuff is so much fun.
Jib Jab, I was wrong. Oh gosh, okay. This is gonna get dark very quickly.
Yep, I read that one. I know what you're doing.
I gotta read it, I guess. Okay. Jib Jab, $10 in the super chat. I was wrongfully evicted while at work on Thursday. Came home, landlord's kids changed my locks and threw some stuff in bags. No place to call home yet, but want to show some support to the show. Well, I hope you find a place to live, and I hope they actually unlock the doors, I guess.
Sorry about that, bro.
Yeah, geez, that's not fun.
I have a guy that watches me on Twitch who had a similar thing happen. It sucks.
Jeez. Well, hopefully you find a place and everything to live. That's crazy. Especially if you're wrongfully evicted, because then you basically just gotta get out of there, pretty much. Chad Sarant, every U.S. company is based in Delaware for a reason. Tax-wise, it's good for us, yes. It is. It is. And then last one, Laserdisc Man, is Windows 7 the new Windows XP? 8 and 10 are bad. I actually like Windows 10, but I do think 7 is still the one that people go back to because it's like the safe one. XP is still around now to this day because people still just like it. So I actually like 10, though. I think 10 is pretty good. I don't like 8. Evan, what's the Discord question?
If Nintendo does not headline Smash at E3's show floor for the game theme, which other game would you want? I think a lot of us have talked about Metroid for the whole planet thing, but I mean, there's other options like Fire Emblem and such.
Metroid's gonna push to next year. While Fire Emblem, a lot of people like Fire Emblem. I don't think it's big enough to do an entire E3 round. Pokemon would be the one, yes. I don't think Fire Emblem's enough as a mainstream appeal to dress up an entire E3. They're looking for the game that's going to sell 5-6 million copies, like a Mario. Pokemon. I know OG. I know you like Fire Emblem. I know.
I will say I'm just gonna keep quiet here.
I know. No, I know you like Fire Emblem. I'm just kind of looking at it from the what Nintendo would do with it.
Watch, you guys are gonna see a revolution when it drops. You guys are gonna be surprised on how well it does. I'm telling you.
You have to summon the characters in Fire Emblem by
throwing you. Like there was a huge jump from the last Fire Emblem to Awakening just because of things what they did. Now, if they can make that same Awakening push with the marketing, you can see watch. You guys watch.
You think it's gonna sell 5 million copies?
Yeah.
Really?
I think maybe Pokemon will be.
Well, Pokemon is a 10 million seller, no questions asked. Probably 15 million if they actually blow it up like they should.
Like with Pokemon Go, just as an example, Pokemon Go. Everyone I knew, even the non-gamers, were playing that game.
You will see a ridiculous
Pokemon is
number.
popular. Yeah, it's popular.
Yeah. You're going to see a ridiculous number put up in media crates when Pokemon comes out that week. An unfathomable number. I'm going to say that. Like depending on how many they have. Like I mean, system-wise, you'll probably see 300 to 400,000 systems move that week.
It's going to be. It's going to be. Like I think what was it? Super Mario Odyssey. Well, that wasn't as in terms of media create, but that sold to 10. That's like what 10 about 10 million. We would think at this point. Oh, it was at 9 million. Yeah, so it'd be at 10 million, and there's like
it might be more than that even.
Yeah, so I mean that's a huge percentage, but Pokemon could even be a bigger percentage than Super Mario Odyssey.
Here's the thing about Pokemon, though. Keep this in mind. If they release 2 versions and they count it under one SKU like they do at Media Create, you will have probably an even bigger attach rate because one person will buy both.
Yeah, I'll buy both.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, that's going to be an event in Japan. They'll probably shut down roads and stuff. I'm not even kidding because people will line up for that thing.
Shut down Japan.
Yeah. Yeah. But Pokemon is probably coming in November, so I'm just gonna put that out there. Yeah. People don't think I think it's coming this year. I think it's November. So that's everything though. I think we're good, right? Evan, we're good?
Yep, that's everything.
We did it. Oh wait, Vigster KR with I never know what that currency is. Does anyone know what MX is?
No idea.
Mexican pesos.
Mexican pesos. All right, very cool. Sean, you should invite Sun Bookish Games to the SpawnCast.
Oh, I think she's in another time zone than us, but
she's in the UK. She's a good YouTuber. Really cute girl.
Yeah.
Let me see. I know. I've seen her before on YouTube. Okay. Yeah.
What was her name?
Sun Bookish Games.
Sun Bookish Games. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We can figure that out. Sure. Why not? Apparently, I should have OJ on when she's on. So there you go.
No,
this will be good.
I'm just, just follow the trend, right? We had Irene on, another cute girl kind of comes right in.
I'm one of the guys, so.
You're one of the guys.
Yes.
I said, you look better than Dreamcast. You look better than Dreamcast guys. So,
I am Dreamcast guy. I did A6 games. Yeah.
I talked to Etika on Twitter, but I haven't heard back from Ryan. He commented on the video I did. People are asking to invite Etika. I don't know if he would. If he has his own streaming thing and he does very well. So. Very well. Frank Medier, thanks for the $5. Thanks for the stream. Appreciate it. And I guess that's it. You guys, all right. But first off, you guys got to check out. You guys have to. Oh, good. Okay, good. The likes didn't get above 800. See, that would have been a problem. You guys have to check out everybody who was on the podcast tonight. You have to check out Irene at Ircha Gaming. Tell them tell them a little bit about your channel.
Yeah.
Irene.
Okay. I make videos about video games, and it has been a lot of Nintendo Switch things lately. But I am a huge fan. I'm addicted to video games. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of. So yeah, it's IRCHA, it's Ircha Gaming, but no one really understands how it's said. And Ircha is fine, and I will be very happy to see all of you guys over at my channel. I do fun stuff sometimes. So that's it.
I have a raid for you guys set up. Don't worry, I got you. We're gonna make that work. And you guys gotta also check out. You gotta check out OJ at PlayerEssence. You know, you gotta check him out. He does a lot of gaming news and stuff as well. He gets really into the Japanese games as well. So you have to check him out. OJ, you wanna let him know a little bit about your channel too?
Yeah. Basically, I pretty much do content all day, man. I'm editing all day. Got a lot of content that's going up, whether it's Japanese RPGs, really focusing on that. PS4, Xbox One, when it comes to stuff like Monster Hunter, I'll cover all of that, cover media create, cover all that stuff. Also a lot of like anime based, like Naruto. So if you're into that, you're into those type of themes, you're into kind of like live streams where it's just complete like interaction with the fans the whole time, or like the viewers, like it's kind of the place for you. We kind of have a real tight-knit community. Everyone plays games together. We have like our whole PE arena where we play games together on Saturdays. So it's really cool. I think it's really cool. And a lot of you guys have already came over. So I've noticed that quite a bit from, the Spawn Wave and the Sean RGT. And I've seen Woods dudes in there as well every now and then. So appreciate all the support.
You're coming up on 40,000 subs, right?
Almost on 40,000. We're heading towards there. Maybe in the next month or so, we'll get there. We got a Super Nintendo Classic giveaway. So you want to be part of that. It'll be open to everyone there. So
that's awesome. Very good. Very good. And then Wood, are you going to be streaming Sea of Thieves, by the way?
Maybe if I can be bothered to hook up my Xbox One X out here. But I was going to say, I probably have a lot of fans in the chat already, and so don't look at me. Look at Ircha instead, or look at Irene's channel, because she does a lot of hard work, and a lot of her videos are like mine anyway, and she's prettier, so she deserves.
Oh my god!
More. So I'm just going to leave a comment saying.
Oh, thank you.
I would link it if I could, but I wasn't made a mod. But
check out. I can make you a mod. Where are you?
Ircha Gaming on YouTube.
Thank you, Wood.
You're welcome.
Is there the check mark next to his name?
Oh yeah, he's got the sweet check mark. Man.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna look into Sea of Thieves now after this. Yeah,
it's free.
I better be getting that. I'm getting that check mark soon, I think.
I actually got my play button yesterday. So
did you? Wait, you got it near you right now?
Nice. Congratulations.
I haven't
Congrats,
unboxed it.
dude.
Congratulations.
Cool. Thank you.
Wait, did you tell him? Did you tell him to put Wood like BeatEmUps, or did you tell him to put something else on there?
BeatEmUps.
Okay.
I very almost went for like a gimmicky thing, but I was like, I was.
So you get that choice, actually.
Yeah, you get to write whatever you want.
Nice. Are you gonna make a video on it?
Because it says, I forgot what it said. Congratulations to something, and I wanted to put BeatEmUps and followers and fans and subscribers or something, because it's not just me, it's everyone. But it just didn't look right when I tried to squish it in.
So you put like a run-on sentence on your play button.
Yeah, so I was like, screw it, I just put my name.
Put like a 10-paragraph speech.
Yeah, I just see how much I can fit.
Fallon, you're not gonna hit 800 likes, man. It's not gonna happen.
A thank you speech on the play button.
Yeah. Firstly, I would like to thank.
Yeah. I think we're there. But you guys gotta make sure you check out Wood's last video. Really cool collab with Ant Dude. I guess check out Ant Dude too.
Irene's channel.
Check out Irene's channel as well. Yes. Everything. Check out everybody on the panel here. It was a lot of fun tonight. Thanks to everyone who joined. And then Wood joining in basically after we started talking about Sea of Thieves. So there you go. Now we know, guys, that Wood is a quiet viewer here on SpawnCast. There you go.
Yeah, I think about joining the podcast a lot. I'm just not. Sometimes I don't get in that sociable mood,
That's fine. Well, if you ever want to join in and it's spur of the moment,
I always have fun. I love it. Obviously, I tried to dominate this one when I came in. So.
Yeah, if you ever want to join in, you're in the spur of the moment thing. Sure, just pop in the chat and we'll get you in.
We're over 800 likes as well, by the way.
Hit like, everyone. Hit like.
Bitch.
One of those.
I noticed last weekend when you said Spawn, when you said hit like, then it exploded.
Yeah, well, People like to prove me wrong, apparently. So you know, we're gonna raid one of our mods actually here. We're gonna raid Rax the Great.
Oh,
Yes!
he's a good guy as well.
Yes, we are going to be modding him. Or sorry, modding. We're going to be rating him. He's actually playing Kingdom Hearts right now, one of my favorite games. So here is the link, and I'm sure Evan and some others can drop it in there too, just to keep you, because you know chat's moving and everything, and we can go over there, let them know. Obviously, came from SpawnCast, SpawnWave, and everything.
Rax is great.
Yes, Rex is he's a cool dude. Yeah, he comes in here and moderate and everything. He's very good about it. Cool guy. We've had him on SpawnCast, so go over there, say hi, hit the like button on his. What's his Get his likes over 100, guys. Okay, on his video. Hook him up there. And I guess that's gonna do it for tonight, guys. SpawnCast episode 51. A little over 2 hours this time. Sorry, Irene. We'll let you go to sleep soon. So,
I'm gonna check out Sea of Thieves. I don't sleep. I don't do that.
Okay. That's gonna do it here for us, guys, tonight. Next Saturday night we'll be on again, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and I think Max will return, and we'll get some other people in here too. So we'll see you guys then.